Yeah, Cole Palmer is back in the starting lineup for Chelsea today. Of course, missed so much through injury because of that groin problem that he had. And then, of course, stubbing his toe, which was the unexpected one. But it has been a long layoff for him. When he is fit and at his best, he is so good for Chelsea. But is there a concern, guys, Adam and Stu, that maybe the injuries have been a bit too disruptive for his season, that he's come in a little bit too late, or does he still have time to kind of be back to his absolute scintillating best?
No, he's got plenty of time, to be fair. You know, it only takes a couple of games to get back into your groove again. Listen, there's a lot of the season to be played yet, both in all the cups and the like, you know, so he'll play a big part for Chelsea and potentially England as well going forward.
And that's the thing for England as well. Look, he scored his first goal since September last time out. And while he's been injured, Thomas Tuchel has sort of seems to have a lot more options in that number 10 role. Would you take him to the World Cup right now in the form that he's in?
Well, there's a question, Stu.
If I'm viewing him solely as a number 10, the answer to your question would be maybe not, but as in I don't think he's behind Bellingham and he's behind Rodgers as a number 10. I don't personally view him as one of the wide players. He can play there, but you lose too much when you're playing there. So his third or fourth option as a number 10, he'll end up going, I think, as a pick that is number 24, 25, 26, because he can get you a goal out of nothing, and you need players like that in your squad.
As a manager, though, Stu, if you are Thomas Tuchel, and we know they're managing this groin problem, do you take a risk with a player who's got a groin problem that you have to manage in a tournament like that?
The beauty with picking England squads now, as opposed to a few years ago, you had 22 picks. Then it went to 23. Now it's 26. When it's 26, you can afford to take 2/3 players that have got slight niggles, depending on who they are, and you can get them fit, that type of thing. I think he falls into that category. He's a gamble player that can get assists and get goals. You know, if you don't take Cole Palmer in an England squad, somewhere on that journey, going to a World Cup, you end up thinking, well, we've left a player at home that can get us those goals out of nothing. Good option.
Yeah, but then there are also other options. You've got Jude Bellingham, you've got Phil Foden, you've got Morgan Rogers, Eberechi Eze, you've got Morgan Rogers as well. So if Palmer does miss out, he does have good options, so there is always that possibility. Is he as a rare commodity as we thought he was?
I personally think that if he does go to the World Cup, he won't play a great deal. That's what I would say, because I think at this moment in time, there's too many players that are a little bit more specialised that will give you more over 90 minutes than maybe Cole would. But listen, you can't write him off, because he is a talent that can get you goals out of nothing. He can find passes out of nothing as well, and they're a great commodity to have in your squad.
Yeah. Interesting. Thanks, guys. We can see the atmosphere building here at St James's Park. Of course, always expectant, always a bit of a fortress, isn't it, this place? And look at those motifs. Eddie Howe tifo's up as well. Santa Claus is there as well, joining in. Everyone getting into the Christmas spirit. It is the last Saturday before Christmas, so a really, really big game here on the horizon at St James's Park. Interestingly, 37 of the 60 Premier League matches between these two sides, Newcastle and Chelsea, have seen the home team be the winners at the end of the final whistle. That is the most home wins of any fixture in this competition's history. Now, bearing in mind that 73% of Newcastle's points tally this season in the league have been won at home, and they found the back of the net twice in each of their last 5, would suggest that perhaps they could be the ones to take all the points today. But they are up against a Chelsea side who are joint top for clean sheets. That's alongside Arsenal this season. They've had 8 clean sheets this season, and they've kept 4 clean sheets in their last 5, of course, barring that blip at Leeds a couple of weeks ago. So interestingly, Newcastle, they've conceded 1 in their last 9 Premier League games. They've never gone 10 without a clean sheet under Eddie Howe. But Chelsea today are the highest scorers in the league with 24 goals so far. It just feels, with all of those numbers, because I'm throwing all these stats here, it does sound very ominous but also very unpredictable, and that is exactly how we like it in the Premier League. So, with the flags waving and the songs being sung at St James's Park, we're going to get stuck right in with the last Premier League weekend before Christmas. We are absolutely ready for it, as are your comms team today as well. The former England captain and Nottingham Forest legend, who also was a feature on Tyneside, Stuart Pearce, alongside also our match commentator, of course, Adam Bridge. Gentlemen, with the players in the tunnel ready to head out, it's over to you.
Thank you, Eshmin. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, despite both Eddie Howe and Enzo Maresca delivering silverware in 2025, the year is hurtling to a close with question marks over the futures of both. Although securing his 100th win as Newcastle boss and another League Cup semi-final on Wednesday has slightly eased the pain of Sunday's Derby Day disaster, the nature of the performance at the Stadium of Light means some fans have put Howe on notice. All the numbers indicate a drop-off in performance and consistency from the Magpies, and their dire away form is a clear symptom of that. Although they have a similar Premier League points tally to last season, the lack of progress on all fronts is once again asking the question as to whether Steady Eddie can match the owner's ambitions and desire. Enzo Maresca's difficult 48 hours has become more of a difficult week. He's refused to elaborate further, both publicly and privately, on exactly what he meant after the win over Everton, but he's the man who led Chelsea to becoming a world champion, really goading the club to sack him, or is this a power grab to have more of a say at Stamford Bridge? He denies both, but the timing of the Manchester City rumours has certainly added fuel to the fire. The dugout at Chelsea isn't the safest place in recent times, but in a Mourinho-esque play, this could be a win or bust gamble by Maresca. It all leads to an intriguing blockbuster encounter on Game Day exclusive this lunchtime, with victory all that matters to both. The two teams are out. Let's run you through them. Newcastle United with Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Miley, Chow, Scher and Hall are the back four, with Gimanesh, Tonali and Ramsey the three central midfielders. Murphy, Voltemada and Gordon are the front three for Eddie Howe's side. Ruddy, Joe Linton, Wissa, Barnes, Alanga, Willock, Murphy, Shalar and Neve are the substitutes for the Magpies. As for Chelsea, Sanchez is in goal. It's Gusto, Fofana, Chalobah and Cucurella across the back, with James and Caicedo in midfield. Neto, Palmer and Garnacho supporting João Pedro, who gets the striker's role once more today. His only goal, starting as a striker, came against Spurs. The rest of his goals and assists have actually come when he's played in the number 10 role. The bench for Chelsea: Jorgensen, Toisin, Badiashile, Fernandes, Santos, Hato, Achimpong, Gui and Buonanotte. The man in charge today is Andy Madley. On VAR duty, should we require him, is Peter Banks. And St James's Park, as ever, is filled to the rafters. They arrive with expectation and hope. And as we saw on Wednesday night, Stuart Pearce, who's alongside me, they do make some noise here.
This is some place to come and watch your football. I always get excited, even as an ex-player. I remember running out here at Sheffield Wednesday on my first game. It was incredible, the atmosphere, and it's not changed. If anything, it's got louder, it's got better.
And anyone who's searching for a late Christmas present, Stuart spotted there's a BMX for sale. There's a big sign on the far side of St James's Park. 42 quid or nearest offer, apparently.
I have never seen a sign like that in a football ground in my life. The sign went up probably about 20 minutes ago, and let's hope they've got a buyer for it. If my train's cancelled, I might take their offer up.
I can see you cycling down to your gig tonight, just on the BMX.
That'd be lovely.
Down the hard shoulder of the A1. Sounds perfect. The lights are on because it's a misty, murky day up here in the northeast of England. Starting to feel a little bit wintry, maybe even a little Christmassy, you could say, with only a few days left to go. Our final Premier League weekend, and we kick it off right here on Talksport with Game Day exclusive and Newcastle United versus Chelsea. As we've mentioned already today, 8 of the last 12 encounters here have been won by Newcastle in the Premier League. Their record against Chelsea at home is very good, but this is a Chelsea side who this season have tightened up at the back. They're keeping clean sheets for fun. They're on a par with Arsenal and have managed 5 shutouts in their last 7. Can Newcastle United break them down? That's the question. The head-banded Anthony Gordon leaping in the air just down beneath us here. Our commentary position is quite low down in St James's Park. We're right behind Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall, who somehow always seem to break that rule of one person being in the technical area at a time, as they stood side by side away to our right-hand side. We are underway, and it's Cole Palmer who gets us off and running. Chelsea are attacking the Gallowgate end away to our right-hand side in the opening 45 minutes here, and immediately Sanchez launches a ball forward down this right-hand side. Jacob Ramsey goes up, the former Villa man, to win the first header of the game, and he'll win the second one as well as he prods it forward to Gordon. Gordon just trying to break away down that right-hand side. Jacob Murphy looking to put some pressure on Cucurella, but he's able to get the ball back to Sanchez, who's closed down by Voltemada, but still manages to lift the ball into Newcastle territory, and Fabian Schär on this left-hand side will deal with it and clips it forward to Gordon. Lovely little ball, clipped infield and touched on to Ramsey, and Guimaraes will pick the ball up inside the middle of his own half, and safety first, he goes back and gives an early touch to Aaron Ramsdale away to our right-hand side. Schär back to Ramsdale, who has played the last 5 in the Premier League, coming on, of course, as an injury substitute for Nick Pope, who's still missing with that groin problem. Only kept 1 clean sheet in his last 25 Premier League games, but then he was at Southampton last season, so that's probably no great surprise. He's on loan from there this campaign and finally getting his opportunity in this Newcastle United first team. Ball forward to Palmer. First chance for him to influence the game. And out wide he goes on that left-hand side. Garnacho is on the charge inside the edge of the penalty area. Here's Palmer at the edge of the box. Clips a ball in, and just over the top of the crossbar. Well, the question was he trying to pick out Pedro Neto at the back post? Or whatever it was floated nicely and just lands onto the roof of the net and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's difficult to prejudge what Cole Palmer was trying to do. I would suggest it was a cross to the far post, but with his ability, it wouldn't have surprised you if he's trying to chip one into the far post. And for a horrible moment for Ramsdale, I thought he'd caught him out.
He's got the lowest save ratio in the Premier League at this moment in time, as Aaron Ramsdale, should I say, a mere 41.7% so far, very low down. Nick Pope had one of the best before picking up his injury, but then we know Pope is an excellent shot stopper, maybe not quite so good with the distribution around his feet that Ramsdale is perhaps a little better at. Reece James wins that for Chelsea and clips the ball down this right-hand side. Immediately, Lewis Hall has to retreat under pressure from Pedro Neto, and Ramsdale clumps it into touch, and it will be a throw on this near touchline for Chelsea, level with the edge of the Newcastle United penalty area.
What are your thoughts on James playing in midfield? I've not been sold on I'm thinking a club of Chelsea's resources. They've got to have a better central midfield player, but they do like him in there.
They do, in the form of him and Gusto, I think, has maybe forced Maresca's hand a little here with Caicedo returning. I think it was an option while Caicedo was injured, with Romeo Lavia being injured as well. But he's chosen to leave out Enzo Fernandez instead and keep James in there. Oh, that's a good tackle that time from Anthony Gordon to win the ball back from the advancing Fofana. Now wide on the right-hand side, here's Jacob Murphy for Newcastle United. Only ball in the edge of the 6-yard box, and has it gone in? It will do now! Nick Voltemada gives Newcastle United the lead inside the 4th minute. A lovely cross from Murphy right into the danger zone, and Voltemada had only scored 1 in his last 7 in the Premier League. He's on the spot at the edge of the 6-yard area to slam it home. It's the perfect start for Eddie Howe's side. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 0.
Well, Fofana done brilliantly to turn the ball over, and then as he's bringing it out in the mid-band of the pitch, he took too long on the ball. Great turnover of possession once again from there, and when it went wide, great ball into the box by Murphy. Gordon could have scored, that got blocked. All of a sudden, Voltemada had the easiest of tasks to tap in, and reputation being enhanced by the second for him.
Well, I think Chelsea were trying to claim that maybe there was a foul on Gusto as Anthony Gordon struck his shot that was saved by the legs of Sanchez, but I don't think there's anything in that at all.
Gusto was poor at the far post, I've got to say. He should be dealing with that. Just pop it round the corner with your right foot, put it out for a corner. He didn't do that, got put on his backside, and from that moment on, Voltemada had the easiest of tasks.
Big goal for him as well after that own goal against Sunderland last week. He obviously scored 4 in his first 5 Premier League appearances, went a little off the boil, but he's delivered for Newcastle United inside the first 4 minutes here at St James's Park. Perfect start under cloudy grey skies in the northeast of England. And in terms of a response after the defeat in the Premier League to Sunderland last weekend. It's perfect from Eddie Howe's side.
Yeah, it certainly is just the start they needed. The atmosphere's flying anyway. That's all the Geordie fans needed to give them an uplift as well.
Offside about 2 or 3 yards inside the Chelsea half then. Very high line on that occasion from the team in blue. And here's Cucurella on that left-hand side as they look to try and respond. Just over 5 minutes gone. Game day exclusive. You're listening to Talksport, and it's Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 0. Right-footed ball forward from James. Down this right-hand side, Gusto clips it on to Pedro Neto. It's on again to Gusto, then back to Neto inside the box. Right-hand side, cuts it across towards Palmer. Just evades his left foot. Here's Garnacho with a shot. Edge of the penalty area. Fires it well over the crossbar.
Brilliant interchange down the right-hand side. Gusto and Neto then pulled it back. I think he was pulling it back, Neto, for Palmer. Just overhit for him, and Garnacho opened the angle up. Should have done slightly better, I think.
There was plenty of criticism flying Garnacho's way last Saturday afternoon on Around the Grounds when Chelsea were playing against Everton. Scott Minto, Alex Crook and Adrian Durham were far from pleasant about Garnacho's performance, but of course we saw him deliver in midweek and maybe just starting to find his feet at Chelsea. But then that was against Cardiff. We'll see how he gets on today. Not the best of starts with his effort from the edge of the penalty area. Ramsdale has it at his feet inside the Newcastle United box, drills a ball low and skipping along forward to Voltamada, then gives it nicely as it's spun by Guimaraes to Murphy on the right hand side, just waiting to get the crossing. Gordon's there inside the penalty area. It looks like he's had another coming together, that time with Gusto. Murphy on the far side will just lose out to Cucurella, who gets it clear. Malo Gusto is down inside the penalty area, missing a boot, but Newcastle United will play on, and referee Andy Madley not interested, comes across to Anthony Gordon. What a save from Sanchez, edge of the 6-yard area. Terrific tip over from that effort from Anthony Gordon, and a yellow card for Sanchez, who's charged out of his penalty area to remonstrate with Andy Madley about the injury to Gusto.
I'll tell you what, I saw everything that happened then. Gordon's breaking his neck to get in the box. Gusto, instead of tracking his run, decides that he wants to obstruct him. He ends up going to ground, Gusto. His boot comes off. To be fair, there's nothing wrong with him at all, apart from his ego's had a good bruising just then. Poor play by Gusto. And all the Chelsea players think that he's been fouled. Well, sadly, you haven't been fouled, son. Get up.
In the other early kickoffs today, an early goal for Blackburn. They are ahead right now in the Championship against Millwall by 1-0 at Ewood Park. Johnson, the goal scorer for Blackburn. 7.5 minutes played here. It's a corner to Newcastle United on that far side. It's going to be swung in left-footed this time. We know that Miley will be lurking. In fact, he is lurking at the back post, having scored that terrific header. It's Hall that's going to swing this ball in from the far side, and he does, right under the keeper. Little touch on it that time. Inside the area from João Pedro, right on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Pedro Neto is out waving his arms around. It's another corner to Newcastle.
I think Chelsea at the moment have come here and expecting charity. They've moaned about every decision. It's cost them a goal, being flimsy on the back post. Gusto once again goes down cheaply and wants something. Neto wants something as well. You're better off just doing your job, leaving the referee to the referee's decisions. Tonali's
going to take this one on the left-hand side for Newcastle United, their 100th Premier League corner of the season so far. Murphy's at the edge of the box, should he want to go shortly. Instead he puts it into the danger zone, but straight onto the roof of the net, that time from the Italian, and it's behind, and Chelsea will try and seek some respite here, with Sanchez going to clear their lines. We've had almost 9 minutes on Talksport. It's Newcastle 1, Chelsea 0. Looks out, Sanchez, and he's going to just delay it, and they're actually going to take their time. And they will play it short, I think there's no doubt about that. Chalobah's there, Fofana's there as well, and instead they just give it short to Sanchez, who's closed down immediately by Anthony Gordon, and he just kicks it straight into touch on the far side. Cucurella can't keep it in, and it's a Newcastle throw.
Yeah, to be fair, if you're Newcastle at this moment in time, looking at Chelsea's behaviour to every decision, trying to buy the odd free kick that isn't a free kick, you would get on the front foot, attempt to rough them up slightly and knock them off their game and say, OK, fine.
Here's Tonali looking to clip a ball to Anthony Gordon. He was trying to go beyond him. At the end, Gordon took it down nicely. Tonali and then to Voltamada, who holds it up brilliantly, but then Gusto will clear from midway inside his own half. Enzo Maresca applauding his players as they pump it into touch, about 10 yards inside Newcastle territory. and it will be a throw down this left-hand side for Lewis Hall. He missed out on Wednesday night, feeling a bit of soreness in his hamstring, but a scan proved to be clear, and he's back in the starting lineup. The last thing that Eddie Howe needed with another injury, having lost Livramento, and Livramento likely to be missing until the start of the new year as well. And they've got some good games coming up, starting with a game against Manchester United next up in the Premier League. That game live on Talksport on Boxing Day night, 8 o'clock kickoff. The only Premier League game on Boxing Day, but don't you worry, we'll have plenty of Championship action across the Talksport network throughout the day on Boxing Day. So if you are being dragged out to the sales, as I'm sure Stuart might be, don't forget to get the Talksport app on and get your earphone in if you want to keep up with all the action. You're not going shopping Boxing Day?
No, I can't think of anything worse, mate, to be quite honest with you. I'll be camped in eating my own weight in food, don't worry.
Sounds like a good idea to me. Far side, Newcastle United have it at the edge of their own penalty area. Clipped down that right-hand side. Caicedo gets, I think, probably what is his first touch of the game. And Reece James will then sweep in and deliver the ball back away to our left-hand side to Trevor Chalobah, who then goes to Sanchez, who's under pressure from Voltemada. Well, we said the pressing's dropped off so far this season from Newcastle. They're doing it quite well today.
Well, listen, Chelsea have encouraged them to do it. They've come up here and enhanced the statement that Geordies think they are southern softies at the moment, Chelsea, you know.
Here's Jacob Ramsey on a charge towards the edge of the penalty area. Moises Caicedo with the quality to make the tackle and come away with the ball nicely. Garnacho now on a charge towards the edge of the penalty area. Takes on Miley, the stand-in right back, and he does brilliantly. Garnacho runs it out of play, and it's a goal kick to Newcastle away to our right-hand side. In League 2, Bromley ahead in the early kick-off there. Bromley 1, Grimsby 0. A reminder as well, right now over on Talksport 2, you can get coverage of the game between Southampton and Coventry. League leaders Coventry at St Mary's from the Championship. One of 3 games, obviously, kicking off at 12:30 in the Championship today.
Yeah, what you were saying about going to the Salisbury earlier, the only thing I want for Christmas and the sales is a BMX bike at about 42 quid. Do you know where I can get one?
Well, funnily enough, your wife texted me when I mentioned that and said, can you pick it up and stick it in your back of the car for Stu? So we'll see if we can give that a go. 12 minutes gone. Neto on the charge for Chelsea. Oh, Neto, right-hand side in the centre of the penalty area. Tries to get it onto his right foot. Shot is driven in, but it's brilliantly blocked by Cher. And now Newcastle will look to counter on this near side with Anthony Gordon, who goes down under the challenge from Neto, and it will be a free kick for Newcastle midway inside their own half. You're listening to Newcastle against Chelsea on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Tottenham against Liverpool, live today. Search Now Sports.
Yeah, really good defending there by Cher. As I say, he had Neto coming at him, driving into the box, but he dealt with him brilliantly.
On that far side, picked up by Murphy, who has support, this time from young Lewis Miley. So impressive was he on Wednesday night. Put the brilliant save that actually ended up winning the corner that he then scored from. So it was a real all-round performance from a player being asked to play right back for Newcastle United for the first time, having just begun to find his place in that midfield at the age of 19. Guimarães is fighting hard there to try and win the ball back against Chalobah. And he leads by example, does Bruno Guimarães, and the pressure being placed once more by Voltemada on Sanchez in the Chelsea goal, and the header one unchallenged by Lewis Hall. Pedro Neto just left him to it.
They just haven't won any of the 50-50s, Chelsea, at this moment in time, and until they rectify that, they're not going to get a foothold in this game.
Well, Hall's just taken one down out of the air with Neto right next to him, and he's taken it on his foot, driven it forward to find Ramsey. Now he's in the position wide on this left-hand side. Neto doesn't bother to make the challenge, goes towards the byline, does Hall, and wins his side. Yet another corner down this left-hand side. Pedro Neto doesn't seem to be at the races, certainly defensively.
No, Chelsea are giving the impression they're a team of superstars, or think they are, that can come up to Newcastle and just ease their way through the game, and individual ability will get them a result. And I'm afraid you've got to do a touch more than that, certainly at places like this.
Tonali will deliver again down this left-hand side. You're listening to Talksport, game day exclusive from St James's Park, where Newcastle United lead. Voltemada with a goal against Chelsea. Here's Tonali. He whips that one in again, floated towards that back post. Sanchez comes and just literally takes it off the head of Fabian Cher, who then kind of intervened as Sanchez threw it away. And at that point, Sanchez did just ask for the foul. The referee was going to let play continue, but in the end, he pulls it up as Newcastle won the ball back.
Yeah, really good goalkeeping there by Sanchez, under a lot of pressure, big crowd scene around him. He's come and got the ball, delivered it really early, and to be honest with you, Chelsea were on the break, so it probably wasn't a bad thing that play was sort of stopped from Newcastle's point of view, definitely.
Long ball forward by Sanchez, low to Neto, but again Hall does enough to help Newcastle gather possession again on halfway. Here's Anthony Gordon in towards the feet of Voltemada, and it's picked up by Tonali, swept to the left-hand edge of the box where Ramsey's waiting. It's Gordon with the first touch inside the area, loses out to Gusto, who defends it excellently and just prods the ball forward though into Newcastle territory, and Cher will just bring Ramsdale into the game, and once more Newcastle will regather possession in their own half.
Yeah, I've lost count at this moment in time the amount of balls that have come up to Neto that he's failed to get hold of to give his team a platform to play. Hall's just come through him and won the ball time and time again. Nice
bit of play from Guimaraes, sets Miley away, and now Murphy on that right hand side with some space here for Murphy. He will probably try and deliver. No, he just goes back this time to Miley and then on to Guimaraes. They're going to work it out on that far side. Back to Murphy again. Lovely first time pass. Tonali has made the run into the box, gets to the byline, thinks of crossing, goes off Cucurella, and in fact the final touch was off Tonali and out of play for a goal kick down that left hand side to Chelsea.
Yeah, good decision by the linesman. He first signalled the corner, then rethought his decision. Don't mind that, as long as they get the decision right eventually.
This is first of 5 commentaries across the Talksport network today. Remember, Southampton commentaries live on Talksport 2 right now from 3 o'clock this afternoon on Talksport 2. It's Bristol City against Middlesbrough in the Championship. And then tonight, Saturday night football, of course. If it's Premier League, it's live right here on the Talksport network. 2 games for you tonight. Everton against Arsenal is on Talksport from 8 o'clock at Hill Dickinson Stadium, and Leeds against Crystal Palace from Ellen Road. That's live tonight on Talksport 2. So as we mentioned, the app will be your best friend tonight if you want to, maybe if you're heading off to a Christmas party, take the earphones and just swipe between those 2 games so you can keep up to date on all tonight's Premier League action. Is Ramsdale, first time clearance from inside his own penalty area. Headers comfortably won, and Voltemada is penalised for a handball there. It was really headed into him, I think, maybe more by Chalobah, but Andy Madley gives the free kick, and Chelsea take it very quickly with Reece James. And now Gusto, who seems to have dropped into that midfield role for now. Fofana finds Caicedo inside the centre circle. Cole Palmer is met by Malik Chow, who does excellently, and then heads up towards halfway. Palmer gets back at him with a little nibble, but Chow still going on that far side. And then in the end, the persistence of Palmer pays off as he misplaces his pass, and Chelsea can pick up possession, but then Ramsey wins it back by dispossessing Caicedo. And now they're forcing Chalobah back inside his own penalty area. Plenty of black and white shirts just following in, and Chow will then win the header in the centre circle. Here comes Cucurella on one of those bustling runs he does inside the centre circle, and maybe an opportunity here for Chelsea to try and break on this right hand side. Neto into the feet of João Pedro, who's closed down and chased and harried all the way back to halfway by Fabian Cher, who in the end can't get close, but Anthony Gordon's there to put the ball into touch on this near side and give a respite to his Newcastle United side.
You can certainly see why Newcastle's form at home is slightly better than it is away. This crowd, I mean, the ball fell between Gusto and Gordon, and the crowd from a home point of view would not let Gordon take a backward step, and he roared him with a challenge that any left back will be pleased for.
I was going to say, this little bit of Lewis Hall, you're looking on thinking that was me 20 years ago. Only 20.
50, okay.
Here's Cucurella on that far side, clips the ball forward, and Gusto has appeared on the left wing, but he can't quite get there. It's shepherded out by Chow, and here come the black and white stripes once more, charging forward over halfway. Gordon is caught from behind that time, and a very deliberate challenge from Fofana, and it's a free kick for Newcastle, 10 yards inside Chelsea territory. We've had 19 minutes on TalkSport. Newcastle 1, Chelsea 0. Exclusive live Premier League commentary this Saturday lunchtime, and it's going to be Hall, I think, is going to take this.
Yeah, as I say, just looking at it from a Chelsea perspective, I think Palmer's taken up some really good positions just in that number 10 role. They need to keep feeding him as best they possibly can, get him turned, and then start feeding the 3 in front of him.
Hall has just been forced back a couple of yards. Cole Palmer providing one fairly tame wall, kind of halfway. He's moved off. It's out wide to this left-hand side where Gordon now will have a chance maybe to take on Neto. He does, right footed, swings a dangerous ball in. Voltemada! And the double for Newcastle United. And Maresca's week is getting worse and worse inside the first 20 minutes at St James's Park. Voltemada, beautiful touch finish, a delightful ball in from Anthony Gordon, and it's 2 goals for the big German inside the first 20. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0.
Well, there's an inquest going on in the Chelsea back line and right through the team, to be honest with you. But I tell you what, if you pulled them all together now, you would turn round and say, gentlemen, the Newcastle players want it a bit more than you, and that's why you're 2-0 down. Basically, great ball in, great movement from Voltemada, and the Chelsea backline just static, really. They're looking, well, they're just looking for charity, if truth be known. They don't want to do the hard yards, they don't want to win the tackles, they don't want to work hard for the team. And basically, probably symptomatic of that is the fella in front of us at the moment, in Neto, who's talking to his coaching staff and saying, hey, by the way, can you try a little bit harder, son?
Well, they are checking the goal here for a possible offside. Just looking on first look, Stuart, this is going to be quite a tight one, isn't it? This may need some lines potentially. The semi-automated probably can't pick out the bones of this one.
No, it's a really, really tight one. I thought the movement from Voltemada was fantastic. The deft touch in front of the defender was brilliant. And listen, if this goal stands and Newcastle keep doing what they're doing, then Chelsea are in for a long, long morning.
Well, just identifying the point that Anthony Gordon played that ball through. The referee, Andy Madley, is relying on Peter Banks, who's on VAR duty, to check this one out. You think he's going to be all right? I can see some white socks beyond him.
I think he's way onside, looking at the still that's in front of us, to be quite honest with you.
Enzo Maresca taking the opportunity to have a word in the ear of Pedro Neto. That's probably no great surprise based on his performance in the opening 20 minutes.
I'm looking and seeing Voltemada's shoulder just behind the not the Chelsea defender that's marking him, but it'll be tight. It's a back left foot here compared to a shoulder of Voltemada.
Well, it certainly looks from the naked eye that the white sock is probably playing him onside.
We might have a slight different angle here, I think, maybe, potentially. But listen, let's hope it stands, to be fair, for the sake of the game.
Well, we can tell it's a tight one because it is taking a wee while here. Voltemada, as I mentioned earlier, had only scored 1 in his last 7 in the Premier League, but he may have added to that tally and netted his 7th Premier League goal of the season. Long conversation here between Andy Madley and Bruno Guimaraes, the Newcastle United captain, who is basically saying, why is this taking so long? And the wait continues. He's giving time for Chelsea to pass on instructions. Maresca and his assistant just talked to 2 or 3 players on this near touchline. Eddie Howe is in the ear of the 4th official down below. Maresca's punching his fist, I think encouraging Neto to liven up, and the goal stands. It's given. Voltemada does have 2, Newcastle United do have 2, and Chelsea here are in disarray. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0.
Well, what a start for Newcastle, but their endeavour in winning the 50-50s has probably, and the challenges between each one, has probably got their nose in front, if nothing else, aside from their decent play.
Well, they've scored 2 in each of their last 5 Premier League games here. They've extended that run to 6 now. It is a brilliant start from Eddie Howe's side this Saturday lunchtime, and Chelsea really need to try and find something. Here's Pedro Neto at the edge of the penalty area, gets it to Palmer, who just pokes it back towards Cucurella, and then the interception ahead of Garnacho comes from Miley. Cucurella has to stick out a boot and wins the throw on that far side for Newcastle United. Chelsea look like they're still in the hotel. They look like they're half asleep.
They don't want to do the hard yards, to be fair. I mean, I've covered Chelsea a couple of times over the recent weeks. Once at Cardiff, and they had to make the substitutions and bring the front 3 on to win them the game in midweek. And away at Burnley in an early kick-off where they didn't play particularly well, but Burnley didn't have the tools to put them to the sword. Newcastle certainly have. Certainly here in this stadium with a crowd buoying them on.
You're listening to Newcastle against Chelsea on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Again, Sanchez, ball forward, into touch. and it will be a throw down this left-hand side for Newcastle United, who started this game like an absolute train. Nearly 25 minutes gone, and they lead by 2-0.
You look through the Chelsea ranks, and we're quite close to the pitch here, and you can see the interaction between each other, Chelsea players, and there is none. There is no reaction from anybody within the group. All they want to do is harangue the referee, and they think that's going to change the course of the game.
Miley gets away from Cucurella. Murphy again down that right-hand side in lots of space. Slips the ball into Ramsey, right edge of the penalty area. Ramsey looks to pull it back. He was, I think, trying to find Guimaraes or Tonali, who were arriving at the edge of the penalty area. I suspect Voltemada's eyes were lighting up at the thought of a hat-trick for Newcastle United. Maybe he'll still get a chance in this attack because Gordon's got it down the left-hand side. Tonali's gone outside of him. Slips it to Tonali. The ball just didn't have enough on it. He just allowed Gusto to get him with a challenge. Gordon goes down. Referee's playing the advantage here, but in the end he decides there is no advantage for the foul on Anthony Gordon, and it will be a free kick about 5 or 6 yards diagonally from the corner flag for Newcastle United.
Yeah, as I say, Gordon, second best, made himself favourite to get there before Gusto, and Gusto was just late in the challenge. Gordon played him a little bit, but he certainly got contact on him. And another opportunity for Tonali to pop the ball in the box and ask questions of the Chelsea backline.
A confirmation, the reason that took so long, semi-automatic offside was down. That's the reason why they had to do it manually today. Here's the free kick, right by the corner flag on this left-hand side. Tonali will swing this one in once more, and you can pretty much guess this is going on top of Sanchez in that 6-yard area. No, he's gone short this time. Oh, and it was well read by Cole Palmer, who intercepts the pass to Murphy. Now Garnacho has it, just spins round and straight into Ramsey, who's gone down from that challenge and wins another free kick for Newcastle. And Garnacho is going to be the second Chelsea player to get himself booked.
Yeah, I don't see the point in the referee stopping the game there. There was 4 players around the ball. Newcastle had turned possession of the ball over. Yeah, it was a poor challenge, I've got to say, but let the game go, book him later.
In League One this lunchtime, Stevenage 0, Burton 1. Shade with a goal for Burton, who are in front. Mind you, earlier, Blackburn in front as well in the Championship. Still no goal as yet between Southampton and Coventry. That game live right now over on Talksport 2. And don't forget as well, when we're done here today, Adrian Durham takes you around the grounds with all the goals as they go in. We'll do our best as well to bring you live reaction from Eddie Howe and Enzo Maresca 2 from 2:30 this afternoon. Down this left-hand side, Hall will swing a ball to the far edge of the penalty area. On the volley by Fabian Schär, and it's quite comfortably straight at Sanchez, but it's some strike from Schär, almost perfect.
It was an outstanding strike, I've got to say, but once again Chelsea defence sleeping, room on the far post. We've just seen the difference between both sides here. Neto not wanting to track back for his team and do the hard yards out of possession, and Gordon, as soon as Newcastle lost the ball, sprinted back to cover for his fullback. That's the difference between the two sides.
And here is Gordon, just short of halfway, clips one over the top for Hall, who's continued his run, and the former Chelsea man is tormenting his former employers, of course. Gets that infield to Bruno Guimaraes, and he gets it across to the edge of the centre circle, where he picks out the feet of Miley. The two Lewises in either full-back position today for Newcastle United. Chow up to halfway, where Ramsey's first touch, and then again far too much contact from Reece James, and it gives the free kick to Newcastle United. And Cole Palmer just checking the ball down, looking incredibly frustrated after 29 minutes here, where they trail 2-0.
Yeah, I'm looking at Chelsea, and I'm looking at 11 individuals on the not a team at the moment, in regard to wanting to aspire your teammate alongside you to do something that's going to change the course of this game. They've got the ability, there's no doubt. We've seen it time and time again, the quality in the team, but I'm afraid in the Premier League and in football in general, you need a touch more than that.
And how much, Stuart, do you think with a young group of players that what's going on this week with Enzo Maresca is potentially having an impact on them?
I think probably Enzo Maresco's reaction is probably based on what he's seeing in front of him and the trust he's got in the players is more to the point. I think it probably works the other way.
And you think we're almost half an hour into this game, no shot on target, no big chances, no corner for Chelsea. They've really offered nothing going forward so far towards that Newcastle United goal that they're defending away to our right-hand side in front of that Gallowgate end, and there's Cucurella just clipping the most. It was a simple pass on that far side to Garnacho. He's put it straight into touch.
Yeah, and the two things that they haven't done is offer hard work and desire. They're the two things that have been missing from Chelsea's performance, let alone corners and shots and stuff like that. The two commodities that I've just mentioned to you come before shots and goodness knows what else. Newcastle have just got to make sure they don't get counter-attacked and don't give the ball away in a silly area to change the course of the game.
Well, we know that prior to this, there had been one win in 4 Premier League games for Chelsea, and the feeling was that maybe Everton should have got a little more out of the game last weekend down at Stamford Bridge, where conversely Newcastle have been in decent form, just one defeat in their last 5 in the Premier League coming into this one, and certainly here at St James's Park they're full of confidence. Hall gets it out. Here's Palmer at the edge of the penalty area, just tried to work it off of his left onto his right at the edge of the box to make a shooting opportunity, and then ends up dispossessed. But Chelsea have it with Caicedo midway inside the Newcastle half. Out wide to the left-hand touchline. Garnacho coming in. This goes down the line to Palmer. Palmer's left-footed ball crosses straight into the arms of the grateful Aaron Ramsdale, who heads out from his 6-yard box and immediately looks to launch a kick forward down this near side towards Anthony Gordon. It's dealt with by Fofana, but it's kept in. No, he lets it go, does Gordon, on this near side, and it will be a throw-in for Newcastle, 15 yards inside Chelsea territory.
Yeah, good play there by Gordon. He burst forward. He saw the counter-attack option on. The kick from Ramsdale wasn't the greatest. Too much height and spin on the ball, but what he done, his reaction and his movement caused panic in the back line, and Fofana could only give a throw-in away.
Ball goes back to Cher deep inside his own half as Newcastle will look to build again from the back. Their record here, as we mentioned earlier, has been exceptional against this Chelsea side. 8 victories in 12 games. The form team, without a doubt, when these two have met here at St James's Park. They've not had such a good record down at Stamford Bridge. But it's all about the 50,000 Geordies that are packed in here today for this Newcastle United side that seems to just inspire them when they're on home turf, as Cucurella has to deal with that long ball forward under pressure from Murphy. Murphy does well, holds it by the corner flag on that far side. He's got Cucurella all over him, right by the corner flag, and in the end Cucurella puts it out of play, and it will be a throw for Newcastle United on that far side.
Yeah, good play there by Murphy, chasing a lost cause, putting pressure on the back line and getting his reward accordingly.
Only 10th start of the campaign for Murphy, but he was impressive on Wednesday night. Got the nod today over Harvey Barnes in the wide area for Newcastle United, and Anthony Elanga, of course, as Tonali just swings a ball high and deep into the to the Chelsea penalty area. Cher just puts it across the box, and it's dealt with quite easily this time by Pedro. But again, it's another throw down the left-hand side for Newcastle, taken short. Worked that time by Hall. Back to Gordon. Gordon now on his right foot drills a ball towards the edge of the penalty area. Reece James wins the header to get it clear. Then Miley will get there ahead of Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer then back doing defending. Does well, just holds off Gimaresh, and then just gives it away immediately to Miley on that right-hand side. Miley coming forward. 3 goals in his last 6 appearances, Miley, in all competitions. He's gone to the edge of the box. Faltamada's there, tries a little back heel, comes out to Tonali, edge of the penalty area, but can't keep it under control. And Neto with a chance to break away. Needs some help, which he gets from Gusto at the edge of his own penalty area. Caicedo then is fouled by Gimaresh, and it will be a free kick at the edge of their own box for Chelsea. And Caicedo's down and needs some treatment.
Yeah, as I say, ball turnover there. Newcastle, 2 Newcastle players ratting around Caicedo. Gives the foul away eventually, but what they're doing, they're putting them under pressure time and time again. Not letting them sit on the ball in any way, shape or form.
Anthony Gordon then just signaling over to the Newcastle bench. If he wanted a drink or a gel or something. But the effort and energy he's thrown into the opening 34 minutes or so here at St James's Park. It's no surprise he needs something.
Just watch the replay of the back heel by Valtemauda in the box just then. It's caught the hand of Fofana, and I think they were hoping for a penalty.
They are choosing to not intervene, and it will be Sanchez who will take this free kick from deep inside Chelsea territory. Trying to pick out Garnacho on the far side, but it's well read by Miley, who wins the header. Voltemada just eases the ball away from Caicedo and held him off. It's not really much of a contest physically and height-wise between those two. And the German gets the win on this occasion. Gordon now down this left-hand side, finds Ramsey. Hall is on the overlap. Gordon then cuts back inside onto his right foot, then just feeds Tonali on halfway, slipping a ball to Cher and then to Chow as they shift play from this left-hand touchline to the right-hand touchline in 2 or 3 passes. Murphy tries to poke a ball through towards Voltemada, but Garnacho's read that and gets it back, and Sanchez just trying to gee his players up and just asking for a bit more energy and a bit more movement as he looks to play it out from the back. And Chalobah in the end goes back to the keeper once more.
Yeah, I think Newcastle, they've probably just got to guard against a sort of counter-attack or leaving sort of equal numbers on the halfway line against Chelsea. You need that extra man. There's no need to chase the game at this stage in it at all.
Fofana giving it to Caicedo, who's under pressure from Guimaraes, and Andy Madley gives the free kick to Chelsea. So it's currently Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0. And for the latest odds, head to Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Newcastle to win at 1-5 odds on. You can back Chelsea to win at 14-1 or back the draw at 13-2. That's all thanks to Betfair, playing a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair, 18+, gambleaware.org. Murphy down the right-hand side for Newcastle United at the byline, gets it across early and has to be dealt with by Chalobah at the edge of the 6-yard box. It'll be another throw on the right for Newcastle United.
Yeah, Guimaraes probably give him too much to do there. He had to scamper after the ball, Murphy, to try and get his foot round it. A ball to feet, I think, would have been the better option.
How much time and space is Murphy getting on that right-hand side, though? Now, a counter on maybe for Chelsea. Here's Palmer on the charge. Miley wins the ball back and fouls Palmer in the process, much to the fury of the Magpies around us. And it's a free kick 15 yards inside the Newcastle half.
I think that interaction there is what I was talking about. Newcastle a little bit loose with the ball around the halfway line, and all of a sudden it was a 4-on-4 attack with Cole Palmer leading the charge. And it's just silly things like that that will dictate the result of this game. If Newcastle can go from now to 90 minutes without doing anything silly and giving Chelsea enthusiasm, they'll win the game.
Well, for the charity bet, we wouldn't mind a goal from Chelsea, though.
Well,
maybe from Cole Palmer, that would help, wouldn't it?
I do get that.
Here's Neto, left-footed, gets it in towards the penalty spot. It's headed by Fofana, and then it'll be cleared away by Guimaraes on the far side. Under pressure from Cucurella, and in fact the final touch comes off the Chelsea player in the eyes of Andy Madley, and it will be a throw into Newcastle, level with a penalty spot. And I think Cole Palmer, is he going to get spoken to here? No, the referee, as Caicedo's come up as well. They're certainly whinging a lot today, Chelsea, aren't they?
Yeah, as I say, what you've got to do, you've got to make your own luck in some ways. Yeah, they might have been hard done by then, looking at the reaction of the players in that occasion. I'm just looking at Miley. He's took 2 of the worst throw-ins I've ever seen. You can tell he's never played full-back or taken a throw-in before.
We thought we were illegal. One of them was illegal earlier, wasn't it? There's no two ways about it. But not pulled up by the referees. It so rarely is at this level.
Do you know when you got a fill-in full-back, you think, well, I'll work on his body position, his angle of approach, he's this, he's that, and you take it for granted and take a bloody throw-in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 6.5 minutes to go to half-time. You're listening to Game Day exclusive on Talksport. It's Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0. The throw-ins there being criticised by, of course, the former England full-back Stuart Pearce, who took a throw or two over his time. It's going to be Neto, who now wants Reece James to come back and jump over the ball for a second time, because it didn't quite work first time. Neto's right arm is in the air. James then does run over it again, and Neto does swing it in. It's nodded down, and it comes to the edge of the box. Garnacho hits a shot, blocked by Tonali, and then half cleared on the right-hand side. Guimaraes will try and bring it out. Far side of the penalty area, has some support from, I think it was Miley, who then just punts it straight into touch. Throw taken quickly on that far side, but the referee not happy, and it'll be taken again by Cucurella.
Yeah, as I say, if this was a normal team playing against Newcastle, the way they're playing, I would say they've got no chance. They'll be lucky if it's not 4 or 5, but because it's Chelsea, you do know that they can get a goal out of absolutely nothing. All of a sudden, the esteem grows in the team, and the result could go in any direction.
Chelsea wanted a penalty there, but I think the referee just explained to Pedro Neto that it cannoned up off, I think, Gimenez's foot onto his hand. Therefore, it was very much accidental. Here's Chalobah, and listen to the roar from the Newcastle supporters as they see those black and white shirts amassing around Chelsea when they have the ball inside their own half. Here is Reece James. He's been quiet so far. Gets it forward to Cole Palmer, who snapped into that time by Cher. Out to Cucurella on that far side. Garnacho is hugging the touchline, about 10 yards inside Newcastle territory on their left-hand side. It's now Palmer, who gives it once more to Fofana. To the right-hand side, Neto is waiting. He's closed down by Hall and by Gordon immediately, so he has to use Fofana as his outlet, who then finds Reece James. Caicedo, little touch on that time by Cole Palmer, and it will be cleared away by Ramsdale first time with his left foot. Doesn't get much distance on it, certainly spinning in the air as it skips into touch on this near side, and Reece James instead will take the throw. Just over 4 minutes remaining of the first half. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0 on Talksport. James into the feet of Cole Palmer again, and a good challenge from Bruno Guimaraes, who snapped into that.
Yeah, as I say, the downside of Cole Palmer's game, I don't think he likes any physical contact whatsoever, so you know full well if there's anything like a physical challenge coming his way, he'll get out of the way of the opponent.
2 more live Premier League games for you later tonight. Everton against Arsenal is here on Talksport, 8 o'clock kickoff. Here's João Pedro. Gets it to Garnacho again. Pedro Neto wants it in the penalty area on the right-hand side. Comes back to Gusto, then to James. Now Neto with a chance to cross at the byline. Instead, cuts back onto his left foot. Just teasing now on this near side with Hall. Finds Gusto. It's with Fofana. They're working it here, Chelsea. Forced back by Reece James, should I say. Now Gusto down the right-hand side. Teasing with Anthony Gordon. Hall comes in with a challenge. Doesn't win the ball cleanly. And Pedro Neto gets it. Here's Fofana. 35 yards out, Reece James just rolls the ball back towards Chalobah. Everyone's forward here for Chelsea. They're camped around the Newcastle United penalty area in front of that Gallagate end away to our right-hand side. Garnacho, right-footed cross to the back post. Neto arrives and puts it in the back of the net with his hand. Immediately Andy Madley signals the hand has put that ball beyond Ramsdale. And I think also Lewis Hall was saying there was a foul and a push too. So the referee says no goal. Obviously VAR will check it, but fairly obvious handball, I think. Yeah,
Jason Tindall giving Gordon the thumbs up for his recovery, getting back in with Neto, but I think he got very, very lucky, if truth be known. He switched off, Neto got in behind him, and the bounce of the ball bounced on the floor. It wasn't deliberate handball in any way, shape or form.
No, but with that rather bizarre handball rule, that doesn't count. And actually, I think there may have been a foul there from Gusto on Lewis Hall as well. Which was an indication that there was some help required for Anthony Gordon, but Hall was on the deck, so not able to provide it. Here is Gordon now putting the pressure on Gusto back towards his own penalty area. Gordon's working really hard, and in the end he goes down. This time no foul. The ball breaks to Caicedo at the edge of the Chelsea box, and he'll drive forward with Reece James coming across Cher. Now there's room for Garnacho down the left-hand side. Pedro's coming into the penalty area. So is Neto towards the byline. Cut back this time by Garnacho, but it's cut back right to the feet of Tonali, and he'll put it out to Miley down that right-hand side, and they'll look to try and counter on that far touchline. And Murphy gets after it, but Chelsea safely see it back to Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, every once in a while Chelsea do something in the game and you think, yeah, watch out, you're a dangerous animal, you can certainly score a goal at the drop of a hat. There's some talent in this team.
Cole Palmer's given it away. No foul, says the referee. He thinks he was caught by Tonali. Andy Madley says play on, and Newcastle United do. And they're back at the edge of their own penalty area with Cher. Palmer is still down. And it's Newcastle who will carry on. Andy Madley not interested. So they do. They break forwards over halfway. Clipped ball through down this left-hand side. Gordon, left edge of the penalty area. Voltemada's in the middle. Ramsey's arriving. It's towards Voltemada, who can't finish it. Back post he arrived. Perhaps should have done better. There's another yellow card. This time being shown to João Pedro by Andy Madley. But surely that should have been 3-0.
Well, listen, Newcastle didn't stop the game when Chelsea decided they wanted the game stopped, and rightly so. And once again, Chelsea defenders outnumbering the Newcastle attack, but the movement of Valtemada so good again, stretching for it. You're right, he should have got it on target, but he's at full stretch.
The leaders in the Championship are in front on the stroke of half-time. Ephraim Mason Clark, the goal scorer. So Southampton 0, Coventry 1 as things stand at St Mary's. There's more stamping of feet going on now by Trevor Chalobah. I've not seen that since I saw a toddler a few years ago stamping with a tantrum.
You're talking about Adrian Durham. Why don't you just mention his name, please?
Another goal in the Championship as well. Blackburn 2, Millwall 0. Hashi, the goal scorer for Blackburn. And a reminder, Jeff Stelling, Ali McCoy is back Monday morning, Christmas week as well. Bound to be fun on Talksport Breakfast from 6 o'clock, as it is every single day. And don't forget, you can watch the show on your smart TV as well, or the Talksport YouTube channel. So there's no excuse to miss breakfast over your cereal on Monday morning, 6 o'clock. We are underway. Don't forget, if you fancy something different music-wise, Chris Evans is on Virgin Radio. Here's Valtemada inside the penalty area. The ball in that time was a decent one from Guimaraes, who's asking the crowd to spur him on, and I think saying to Valtemada, you should have maybe done a bit better with that one too.
I'll tell you what, Newcastle to a man, brilliant there. Valtemada started the press. From there, everyone else has got involved. Murphy and Guimaraes, and it's just showing Chelsea up as a team of petulant sort of superstars almost in their own mind.
Better first touch there from Valtemada, and he may well have got that hat-trick before half-time. We're into the 4 added minutes. We've had just over a minute of those 4 at St James's Park. Newcastle 2, Chelsea 0. Corner for Newcastle on that far side. They've gone short this time. Worked out to Murphy, who right-footed is going to swing it into the box. Valtemada tries to go up with a header, but he doesn't get a chance because Lewis Miley arrives first, but he can't add to his headed goal on Wednesday night as he pops it over the bar.
Once again, 2 players with a clear header getting in each other's way because there's no Chelsea defenders anywhere near them.
Terrific first half so far from Newcastle United. As we enter the last 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half, and again it's a fruitless run down that left-hand side for Garnacho as he chased after a long ball forward, but comfortable for Newcastle, and they'll clear away to our right-hand side.
And the sad thing, Maresco's going to go in that dressing room in a couple of minutes' time and address these players, and these players will be belly aching about the referee hasn't given us this, the referee hasn't given us that, instead of pointing the finger at themselves and saying, you know what, we're playing against a team playing in black and white that just want the game more than we do, and that's why they're 2-0 up and could be more.
Yeah, it's been a first-class display from Newcastle United in this opening 45 minutes. Quite the opposite from Chelsea, and it will be a throw on this near touchline for Newcastle, as it's been so many times in this opening period. Just in front of the dugout, Eddie Howe pacing Tyndall there as well. Enzo Maresca, well, the heat will be on him at half-time. What can he do to this Chelsea side to turn this one round in the second half? Here's the throw, and I think there's a problem with the ball. It's split, so they are going to get a replacement. The 4th official just approves that change to Lewis Hall. We are in the final minute of the 4 added at the end of this first half here on Talksport. 2-0 to Chelsea. That's only to Newcastle, I say. Chelsea trailing by 2 and need to sort themselves out at half-time. Up goes Reece James to win the header. João Pedro, he's not had a sniff in the box, let alone anywhere else on the field really today.
No, he hasn't. Newcastle backline have been pretty tight. There's probably been about 2 or 3 incidents where you thought, Chelsea have got the opportunity here, but they managed to get recovery challenges and blocks.
Valtemada is all over. Has got Fofana on his back there as he tried to get up to win that header, but no, the referee not interested. Again, Tonali has gone down inside the centre circle. Eddie Howe just waves his arms out as if to say, how is that not a foul? Here's Garnacho on the charge, trying to get the better of Miley on that far side, but Miley tracks him every step of the way, and it will be a goal kick. The final touch coming from Garnacho, and again another moment of frustration from Chelsea and their players as the goal kick goes Newcastle United's way.
Well, there'll be frustration there because you look at Miley and you think, well, this, with the defensive problems they've got, Newcastle, there could be a weak link here, but he's defended really well. He's not dived in on any situation. He's stayed on his feet, and he's just seen players out, and credit to him for it.
It was 2021 that Chelsea last won at St James's Park, and if things continue as they are, that's a wait that will continue. Ramsdale, I'm sure once he puts this ball in the air, Andy Madley will prepare the half-time whistle, which he does. And having been 2 up inside the first 20 minutes, it was a terrific opening half from Newcastle United. Nick Voltemade, who's been a bit quiet in the Premier League in recent weeks after that terrific start, but he's put that right today with 2 finishes from close range. The second one absolutely exceptional on 20 minutes to give them the advantage at half-time. It could have been more. In fact, he should probably have had a hat-trick. And Chelsea, well, that was as woeful, I think, of 45 minutes as we've seen from Chelsea this Premier League campaign. Half-time here then at St James's Park, and the Magpies are in charge. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0.
Adam, thank you. Yeah, Newcastle very firmly in charge with that 2-0 lead at the moment. Stuart Pearce, it just feels from the off, Chelsea just were not up for this, whereas Newcastle were the complete opposite. They were on fire.
Resh, they're not up for the fight, Chelsea, is the bottom line. I look through their team, I look at the interaction between each of the players. They're playing individual games and not as a collective. 50-50 battles have been won by everyone in black and white. And Chelsea want to come here and play their own pretty game. And you've got to do the work and put the sweat on your shirt before you even start to show your talent in football at any decade. And as I say, they're feeling sorry for themselves, and they've got to come out in the second half and offer a touch more.
Losing the ball so easily as well, Stuart, just in really simple moments as well. You just wonder what is going through their minds. And when you think about the sort of the backdrop of this with Enzo Maresca and all the noise around him, when you're a player, do things like that affect you?
I think it's the other way. I mean, you could turn around and say, the manager's been a little bit unstable with some of his comments this week, potentially. So as a player, you could use that as an excuse. I turn it on its head and say, listen, if I was trying to motivate this group of players, I would be very, very nervous, because none of them look as though they're really putting a shift in for the team on today's performance. If I was Maresco and I'm thinking, why has he made those statements a week ago? I would say he's probably made it on the grounds that he don't fancy the sentiment or the mentality of one or two in the dressing room. And when I say one or two, I probably mean a whole lot of them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because this is a completely changed lineup from midweek, of course, and you expected his top players to come back and perform. Defensively, they've been really poor as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, but when we say defensively, I'm not going to point the finger at a back four or even the holding 2 midfield players. I'm going to say the whole team. I've seen Gordon run back to get goal side every time to back up his fullback in Hall. Neto's playing right in front of us, and I'm thinking, I used to work for a coach who had an old saying, I wouldn't trust him with a lady's bike. And that probably applies to a lot.
Are you allowed to say that now?
Well, why not? Listen, it's the sentiment that I'm trying to put across here.
Of course.
You know what I mean? That individuals are not working for each other. They're not working for the manager. They're not working for the team, and they're doing themselves no credit. You've got to win challenges. You've got to have some form of desire, and Chelsea haven't showed that.
I suppose with that in mind, then you have to look at who's on the bench and who you could bring into this second half. I mean, Enzo Fernandez is screaming out here as someone who can, hopefully tell these players what on earth are you doing. Let's just.
I don't think it's a change of personnel, because I think the team that they've got out there is good enough to give Newcastle a decent challenge if they up their game and say, you know what, I'm going to win the first 50-50 challenge, and then from there my teammates going to do the same as well, and collectively we're going to try and win our fair share of headers, challenges, whatever it may be. At the moment, I'm seeing too many players getting beaten in challenges, in headers, not retaining the ball, haranguing the referee. On the odd occasion they might have grounds for it, but they're trying to point the blame elsewhere rather than themselves.
Well, that's really concerning if you don't think it's the any new personnel, that the ones on the pitch are just are not doing a good enough job. And you look at Newcastle, they're the complete opposite, especially like what a response to that defeat in the Weir Tyne derby. And Nick Voltemade especially, of course, he scored the own goal, and then he saw Wissa come off the bench in midweek and score as well. That's exactly the kind of response you want from a player, isn't it? Someone who's sort of looking over his shoulder and thinking, well, I made a mistake the other week, and then there's my competition. I need to make sure that I'm doing all the things right. That's exactly the professionalism that Eddie Howe would want.
Of course, and everyone to a man. I mean, Newcastle's best defensive work has been at the front of their team. I've got to say, Voltemade and Gordon and the like have chased and harried and chased lost causes, and that does the defenders and midfield's job for them. They've been really, really good in that respect. And I tell you what, you've got to say as well, the crowd do not play a part here, because the crowd shout, hey, you should be chasing this in their vocal output, and players know straight away, hey, this isn't one for jockeying, I've got to get after him. The crowd make me do it, you know what I mean? If the players don't know, just listen to the crowd, they're brilliant here for that.
They are. And equally brilliant was your Geordie accent there.
Did I throw one in? Sorry,
you tried, you did try. You tried and maybe failed, but I don't want to say that to a former England captain. But but well done for.
I was only here 2 years. That's the best you're getting, you know.
Fantastic stuff, Stu. This is an absolute spanking for Chelsea so far. Newcastle comfortably 2 goals ahead. It could have been more. That is how the first half looks. I wonder what the second half will bring. Stay with us. It's up next.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Sky Sports. Stream over 50 live Premier League games flexibly with Now. Like Spurs versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win!
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Games are stacking up as we ho-ho head towards Christmas. So give yourself a present with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With expert opinion and tactical analysis, you get it all with goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals. Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Mo Farah is learning the ropes.
So, Mo, with Click and Collect, we get orders ready fast. So customers are out of here and back to their jobs in as little as 1 minute. What are you doing?
Dip lunches. It's my warm-up. I need to be in peak condition for when orders come in.
Love that intensity, Mo. Laser focused. You might even have what it takes to beat my PB one day.
Back in a mo.
Click and collect in as little as 1 minute. Screwfix. No stopping you.
Same.
Ho, ho, ho!
Same.
3, 2, 1, hey!
Same.
Oh, thanks.
Same.
What does Santa call his dog?
Same. Same.
One word. Free syllables.
Same. Same.
Sorry, it's a bit dry.
New plates.
Ooh.
Treat your table to something different this Christmas. Visit your local IKEA now. IKEA, the wonderful every day.
This Christmas, McDonald's and the Elf on the Shelf are bringing festive tasks to your little ones, like writing a Christmas card for your postie.
Thank you. You're one happy helper.
Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until the 30th of December from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy while stocks last. Subject to availability. Fair ordering policy applies.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue. Unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there! His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result! Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village. Get in! Find out more at villagehotels.com.
He's having a blinder. He's clipped the post. He's looking formidable. Then... His game might be over, but yours isn't. With Betfair's Safe Sub, your bet simply rolls onto the player coming on. Playing a different league with Betfair.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Applies to singles, multiples and bet builder bets on qualified player outcome selections. Does not apply to odds boosts. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Christmas 2025 on Talksport.
You're sick of Michael Bublé, so you hide under the duvet and tune your radio to a football show. Christmas in a Talksport wonderland.
Christmas 2025 on Talksport.
Hello everybody, this is Game Day Exclusive on Talksport. I'm Reshmin Chowdhury at St James's Park. For us, it's Adam Bridge and Stuart Pearce, and at half-time it is Newcastle 2, Chelsea 0. Are they on their way to stringing together 4 Premier League wins at home against Chelsea? It looks like it. Chelsea offered very, very little in that first half. Newcastle really up for this one. Plenty over on Talksport 2 as well. In the Championship, it's Southampton 0, Coventry 1. It's Blackburn 2, Millwall 1 as well. And Preston 0, Norwich 0 2. Now in League 1, Stevenage 0, Burton 1 is your latest, while it's goalless between Wigan and Blackpool. And in League 2, it's Bromley 1, Grimsby 0, and Notts County and Walsall is also currently goalless. So let's see what all of that has done to the odds, everything that we've seen on the pitch at St James's Park. And let's get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18+, gambleaware.org.
James Mackey, how are you doing? And what are the odds looking like?
Yeah,
after that
Newcastle.
first half?
Newcastle have been rampant in that first half, haven't they, Reshmin, and deservedly heading to the break 2-0 up, and are now as short as 1-8 to go on and win the game in the second half. Chelsea have been absolutely dreadful in that first half, haven't they, and have it all to do in the second half to get something out the game. They're now 16-1 to come back and win the game. The draw is priced at 6-1 now, with Chelsea needing to turn things around in the second half. Looking at the player markets for the second half, and Nick Voltemade is chasing a hat-trick after his 2 goals in that first half. He's 7-1 to grab the 3rd goal of the game, having had chances to get his hat-trick already in that first half. Anthony Gordon, he's been excellent for Newcastle in that first half, playing a big part in both goals. But can he get himself on the score sheet now to top off his day? Well, he's 5-1 to score any time in the second half. For Chelsea, they really need a spark from somewhere, don't they? And you'd be looking at the forwards to get them back in the game. Cole Palmer is 16-5 to score any time. João Pedro, 100-30, and Garnacho is 4-1 to score any time. And Safe Sub is attached to that market as well. And finally, it looks like it's been quite a heated first half, with Chelsea having 3 yellow cards. And in the second half, for a red card in the game, that is priced at 4-1. And for Chelsea to be the team to get that red card, he's priced at 5-1. And just on the charity bet, Reshmin, well, the Newcastle leg is flying at the moment with them being 2-0 up. So that if that can continue in the second half, that'd be brilliant. In the second half, we need Chelsea to score a goal to land the both teams to score leg, and Cole Palmer to have a shot on target. If that happens and Newcastle go on to win the game, it would see £266.49 go into the Bobby Moore Fund.
Well, we really hope so, don't we? Thank you very much, James Mackey. As always, that odds update is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. You can go to gambleaware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18+, gambleaware.org.
OK, following us at 2:30, Adrian Durham will be taking you around the grounds with all the goals as they go in the Premier League and EFL. There are 4 3 o'clock Premier League fixtures, 7 in all throughout the course of the day. So it's going to be a busy one, especially here on TalkSport. We've got so much live coverage for you. Adrian, you're going to be based at the Etihad, where Manchester City could go top with a win against West Ham for a few hours at least. How are you doing, Adrian? How is everything up in Manchester?
It's very chilly up here, but actually I think the football will warm us up. Man City always beat West Ham. In fact, West Ham have lost every game here since Pep Guardiola arrived. Last 3 results have been 4-1, 3-1, 3-0. So you say they could go top. I think we're safe to say Manchester City will go top of the table, albeit possibly temporarily. Nobody's really given the Hammers much chance, but I said anything can happen in 90 minutes of football, as you're seeing before you, because Chelsea that's a performance that smacks of players who don't really care if the manager comes or goes, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? How completely apathetic and pathetic at the same time from all the players. Speaking of the top of the table, though, Arsenal are away at Arteta's old club, aren't they, at Everton tonight? It's almost full circle, isn't it? Almost 6 years to the day where he was announced at Everton. I remember we were all there live for Talksport on that day, and he was there in the stadium that day, as was Carlo Ancelotti, I think, was there that day as well. Everton have lost just once at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, so it's a huge one for Arteta and Arsenal. Is it one of their biggest games so far?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, Everton have won 4 of the last 6, also 4 clean sheets in 6, so they're in form. But listen, Arsenal are very good. I know they've lost a couple of games, but they're very good. So that's going to be brilliant live on TalkSport a little bit later on.
It's going to be excellent, isn't it? Busy day ahead. Adrian, thank you as always. Second half's kicked off. I'm going to hand you back to Stuart Pearce, but first, Adam Bridge.
Yeah, thank you, Reshmin. We're underway here at St James's Park for this second half, and Newcastle attacking the Gallowgate end away to our right-hand side in this second 45 minutes. 2 up from those 2 goals in the opening 20 minutes of this game from Nick Voltemade, and well, you'd argue a couple of opportunities from him to potentially score that hat-trick. I might ask Stuart who he thinks the last Newcastle player was to score a hat-trick here at St James's Park, because I know he likes his footy trivia. I'll let you have a think about that one.
Well, I would have to say Shearer first off, but surely someone in the meantime has got a hat-trick. So it must have been.
I'll give you a clue. It was 2019. So you think about that kind of era for Newcastle United. We'll come back to that one later, and who knows, they may be surpassed by Voltemade in this second half. There's no changes for Chelsea at half-time, so very much the message from Maresca you feel is, well, you got us into this. Let's see if you can get us out of it.
Well, I didn't think there'd be any changes. You know, sometimes you think to yourself, well, make changes for change's sake. The key to this for Chelsea is just upping their enthusiasm for the game.
Oh, there's a chance for Murphy. The pass-through was excellent from Guimaraes, but it hit Murphy in the back as he was about to spin away from Cucurella down this right-hand side, and very frustrated he was. It was almost inch perfect from the Brazilian.
You've got to go Isaac, is my answer to your question.
That's the wrong answer. You keep thinking. As away to our left-hand side, it's Chow who has it for Newcastle, finds Ramsdale at the right edge of his penalty area, and he curls a right-footed ball forward. Voltemade goes down as he goes beyond Chalobah, and they're all safely back at the feet of Sanchez away to our right-hand side. I'll run you through those teams. Ramsdale in goal, of course, for Newcastle. Another one of Sanchez's clearance almost gets run down by Gordon. It's Ramsdale in goal, Miley, Chow, Cher and Hall across the back, Guimaraes, Tonali and Ramsey in midfield, with Murphy on the right, Gordon on the left, and Altabada down the middle for Newcastle United. Here come Chelsea on the attack at the start of this second half. Short from Garnacho to Cucurella, and then to Caicedo, who's 5 or 6 yards inside Newcastle territory. Reece James with a fairly direct pass this time to Cole Palmer, who's fouled about 25 yards out from goal by Sandro Tonali. Palmer wins the free kick, but then also pleads with the referee. I'm not sure, unless he's after a yellow card there for Tonali. He got the free kick, and it's central, and it's in a dangerous position here.
Yeah, it is. Good play there by Palmer. Great receiving skills on the half turn, and that caused the problem and induced the foul. So good opportunity here for I've seen Reece James score for England from this sort of distance, or he's got the left foot option with Cole Palmer.
Well, we could take a Cole Palmer shot on goal for our charity bet today. That would be fine if it was on target. We'll take that.
We'll get the message to him, mate. OK.
Yeah, leave it alone, Reece. Don't touch. Reece James, funny enough, has had a fairly checkered history against Newcastle. He got sent off here in 2023, but he actually scored against them previously as well. It's one of those seasons as well for Reece James. He's not missed anything through injury this year, which is fantastic news given the last few seasons he's had, and great news potentially as well, of course, for England with the World Cup coming, and you'll be there soaking up the rays of America, following England, of course. Stuart's part of our team as we bring you 500 games, over 500 games throughout the season across the Talksport network, all culminating, of course, in that World Cup across Mexico, America and Canada next summer. Right, they've lined up the free kick. Everyone's happy. 5 in the wall. Reece James right-footed and in! It's a brilliant free kick from Reece James to pull Chelsea back into this game. It was beyond the despairing dive of Ramsdale, and James pops it low into the bottom corner. Terrific height. It was dipping and nothing Ramsdale could do. And Chelsea have started the second half in style. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 1.
Yeah, real top quality finish there. 2 options on the ball. Goalkeeper obviously has got a guard against both, but a curling right foot going towards, clip the post and inside. And I think Enzo Fernandez might be getting warmed up on the bench, maybe.
Reece James, and he scored a cracker against Forest. He's done it again. Here's Newcastle trying to respond quickly. Anthony Gordon gets the crossover towards Murphy, and then there's a foul inside the penalty area on Caicedo by Voltemada that's punished by Andy Madley. It's a good response at the start of this second half from Chelsea. 1.97 was the non-penalty XG they conceded in the first 45 minutes. It's their most in a Premier League first half since against Manchester United in December 2023. But whatever was said at half-time has sprung Chelsea into life.
Well, from the kick-off, they've won the first header. I think it was Reece James in front of his back line, and that was sadly missing in the first half from Chelsea's point of view. But you always know they've got the ability in their ranks to get goals out of nothing, and that was, I wouldn't say a goal out of nothing, but certainly a goal semi against what we've seen in the first half, for sure.
Well, in the dim and distant past of the 5th of October, that was the last time Newcastle kept a clean sheet in the Premier League. And again today, no chance to manage it. First time under Eddie Howe, that's 10 in a row in the Premier League. They've not kept a clean sheet. Miley under pressure here. This is better from Chelsea. Chasing Miley, and then the ball's given away by Murphy to Caicedo. And here come Chelsea. João Pedro down the middle. Garnacho to the left. He's got Cole Palmer alongside him. Palmer then goes into space. Here is Palmer. Cross the face of goal. Comes out to Neto. Lovely touch. Tries to work it onto his left foot. And it's a good intervention by Lewis Hall. And then Tonali to bring it clear. The game opening up now. Newcastle on that far side with Anthony Gordon over halfway. Neto's on the floor. Referee tells him to get up. Here's Tonali cutting across midway inside Chelsea territory on his right foot. He's got Murphy out on this right-hand touchline. Goes short to Guimaraes, who then finds Murphy. Murphy goes early, and it's blocked out by Cucurella, and it's a corner down this right-hand side for Newcastle United.
Yeah, Chelsea in this second half, they probably put more effort in to go and rat the ball than they did in the entirety of the first half. As I say, really good play, and when they do attack, they've really got some threats. They've got some good players in advanced areas. I'm going to stick my neck out here and say this game will finish 3-2, but I'm not sure who to.
I was going to say, you said 2-2 before the game even started, didn't you? You fancied a draw today. You thought it was quite tight. It's worth pointing out that Newcastle have dropped 11 points from winning positions this season. Only Brentford have dropped more. Are they going to drop more today? They still lead 2-1. Game day exclusive on Talksport. We are 7 minutes into the second half. Referee happy that Cucurella's okay, and the corner can be taken. Short to Ramsey, now to Murphy on his right foot, swings the ball in, doesn't get past the first man, who on this occasion is Trevor Chalobah. Comes down towards Miley, and now on that far side a chance here for Murphy to spin away and gives it to Jacob Ramsey. Ramsey towards the edge of the penalty area. Here's Anthony Gordon in a central position on his right foot. Gordon clipping it again to Murphy down this right hand side. Now down the byline. Gordon trying to get there. He's barged out the way. Really no attempt to play the ball that time from Chalobah. And the referee Andy Madley not interested as it goes out of play. What will be a goal kick for Chelsea. But Anthony Gordon is down in a heap beyond the byline.
Well, we've already seen more aggression from the Chelsea players. Chalobah, I think you're gambling a little bit, making the challenge that he actually did. And I tell you what, if that's given us a penalty, it wouldn't surprise you. I'm just pleased that Chelsea are offering a little bit more to this game from a physical standpoint.
I think that's a penalty, Stuart. He makes no attempt to play the ball and absolutely clatters into Anthony Gordon, who was about to deliver the cross from the byline. Well, Andy Madley had told them to wait. We haven't been told yet that it is being checked.
Well, I think that VAR will ignore this one and let it roll. I'll be astounded if they don't, but not astounded if a penalty's given either. So,
but they wouldn't overturn it, would they?
No, they wouldn't.
But no decision then to affect that, because we're going to see Enzo coming on now. Actually, we are going to see the change, and it's Malo Gusto that's going to come off. So Reece James will revert to right back,
yeah,
and Enzo will go in alongside Caicedo in the middle.
Yeah, it's strange how they've not made this this change a little bit earlier. I'm quite surprised at that.
I did see a chart yesterday saying Enzo does, on average, go to the substitutes bench quicker than any other Premier League manager, around 63 minutes. But he's got 9 early today. He's at 54 with a change to bring Enzo Fernandez on. And it's Sanchez who has it at the edge of the 6-yard box, and still the old boo around St James's Park about the fact that Newcastle United didn't get a penalty. Here's Pedro trying to get there ahead of Chow, maybe a little shove in the back. Referee says play on because Ramsdale had gathered the ball. He did think it was a foul, but he's happy for Newcastle to continue in possession.
Yeah, now Chelsea, Shane, look, more press. There's Cole Palmer gone in there and got a contact on the ball. Much better from Chelsea. And if they don't win the game, you can point to the fact of their first half and the lack of energy.
Caicedo gets away from Gimaresh. Here's Palmer. Palmer at the edge of the penalty area, just slides it through. Neto, right edge of the box, plenty of room to play with here. Tees that one up for Reece James, looking for his second of the game. And it's Cher who blocks it behind from the edge of the 6-yard box for another corner to Chelsea.
Yeah, you must pull your hair out if you had any Maresco, you know, with this performance. Chalk and cheese now from Chelsea.
Neto, back again, Cucurella, central area. Here's Caicedo. To the left of him is Garnacho, but also Enzo Fernandez on his right foot towards that back post, going to evade everyone and spin out a pay for a goal kick. You're listening to Newcastle against Chelsea on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Tottenham against Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports. Team news for our 3 o'clock kickoffs. Let's start at the Amex for Brighton against Sunderland with Alex Crook.
And big blows for Brighton, who are without both their first-choice centre-backs, with Lewis Dunk suspended and Jan-Paul van Hecke ill. Danny Welbeck also misses out with a back issue. Sunderland, depleted by AFCON call-ups, make 4 changes. Hume, Gertruda, Rigg and Adingra are the players who come in as Brighton take on Sunderland.
Rest of the team news for our 3 o'clock kickoffs to come in the next 5 minutes or so. We are, 13 minutes into this second half. And it's Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 1. You're listening to Game Day exclusive on Talk Sport. First half dominated by Chelsea, and a second by Newcastle, and a second where Chelsea have come out the traps and are on it. There's no doubt about it. Here's Cucurella. To be honest, they couldn't have got much worse, but this is a good response. Caicedo tries to ping a crossfield pass. Lewis Hall gets it. Now can Newcastle get some momentum? Hall down the left-hand side. He's got Ramsey outside him. Ramsey, early ball across towards Voltemada, and it's cleared from the edge of the 6-yard box. That time by Chalobah. Now the counter's on, and it's Neto away down the right-hand side, running diagonally to the centre of the penalty area on his left foot. Neto still going. Here's Garnacho. First touch, not the best. Gets it back to Neto. Palmed away by Ramsdale. Back to Garnacho again on this left-hand side. Challenge from Miley's a good one, and then he gets it clear at the second attempt. And Murphy will then try and spin away from Cucurella. Referee plays advantage, and they've got it again this time with Fernandez. Now Reece James, 25 yards out from goal. Wonderful free kick he scored to get Chelsea back in this game. Here's Neto, left-hand side, low ball in. It's headed away by Cher. Taken down again by Chalobah. Under pressure from Voltemada, and Cucurella will come back to Sanchez. Away to our right-hand side, who's about 15-20 yards outside his goal. This is good from Chelsea, much better. Here is Enzo Fernandez, the second half substitute. Good challenge by Ramsey. Fernandez is down and wants the free kick. Andy Madley says no. And there's a foul on Gimaresh this time that comes from Caicedo. Maresca is absolutely fuming, but it will be a free kick for Newcastle just inside the Chelsea half.
Yeah, much better from Chelsea there, but Newcastle have got to be careful. They threw players forward in that last attack. Poor cross into the box. Counter-attack was on, and all of a sudden it was 4-on-3 in Chelsea's favour. And when you're 2-1 up, you can't afford to do that.
Maresca's been booked for his frustration over the free kick awarded to Newcastle and the non-free kick for Chelsea. And it's Gimaresh just over halfway who will have this for Newcastle United. I will run through that revised Chelsea lineup for you in a moment or two as Chow gets it out wide to the left-hand side where Cher is there. Back to Ramsdale, under pressure from João Pedro up top. Palmer then closing in on Chow midway inside the Newcastle half. Now, Murphy's got away from Cucurella down this right-hand side. Lovely spin and turn. Tries to play the early ball in. Cucurella blocks it out and it'll be a throw. Level with the penalty spot down this right-hand side for Newcastle United.
I think we've got a good game on our hands now. This game could swing anyway.
Chelsea have Sanchez in goal. Now it's James at right back for Fana, Chalobah, Cucurella across the back. Fernandes and Caicedo in midfield with Neto, Palmer, Garnacho supporting João Pedro, who's up top. Here's Tonali down this right-hand side, trying to get away from Garnacho. Eventually gets the cross in. It's half blocked. Palmer will help at the edge of his own box and give it to Cucurella, who finds Caicedo, gives it away to Tonali. Tonali looking for a better pass, finds Ramsey. Right-hand side with Murphy. Cross to the far post, way over hit. It's going to be beyond everybody and out of play. What will be a throw-in on that right-hand side for Chelsea. Let's get team news from the Etihad for Man City against West Ham. Mickey Gray.
It's 7 changes for Pep City after their 2-0 League Cup win against Brentford on Wednesday. Gonzalez, O'Reilly, Shirky and O'Reilly remain, with Donnarumma, Nunes, Gvardiol, Foden, Silva and Haaland all coming back into the starting 11. West Ham lose services of Wan-Bissaka and Malik Diouf to AFCON, along with Mavropanos in 3 changes for West Ham from their 3-2 defeat to Aston Villa last weekend. Walker-Peters, Scarlett and Kilman come into the starting 11. From the Etihad, it's Manchester City against West Ham.
Around the grounds coming from the Etihad this afternoon, Adrian alongside Mickey Gray. Once we're done here at St James's Park, there's a free kick for Chelsea, midway inside their own half. Might be a yellow card here as well for Fabian Schär. He's going into the book. Burnley head to the South Coast in desperate need of points. They take on Bournemouth today at the Vitality. Ian Abrahams.
Bournemouth, who drew 4-4 at Manchester United, live on Talksport on Monday. Cook and Brooks come in for Adams and Jimenez. 6 changes for Burnley. Coming back into the side, Walker, Worrell, Pires, Laron, Anthony against his old club, and Zian Fleming.
Talking of desperate points, desperate 4 points, Wolves against Brentford today. That's at Molineux for Jeff Peters.
A new back 3 for Wolves as Mosquera is injured. Mosquera suspended. Agbadou gone to AFCON. Totti is injured. Doherty, Santi Bueno and Krejci line up in front of the recalled Jose Sarr. Henry, Yarmouk and Sharda come in for Brentford from the side who drew with Leeds. Henderson and Hickey benched. Ouattara missing due to AFCON.
Cole Palmer is down here. Wants a foul, not given again. Tonali on this right-hand side with it. Caicedo's with him all the way and then shoves him over after the ball has gone out of play, and Tonali's on the floor. Caicedo's trying to help pick him up. Cucurella trying to smuggle the ball away. The assistant comes across and now Andy Madley's coming over to try and sort this one out as well, while Cucurella, as ever, is desperately trying to take the throw in quickly, although Tonali has now decided to roll on the pitch.
Yeah, the referee's got to just take charge of this and just, Chelsea wanted to take a quick throw in. Let them get on with it. Let them take the quick throw in.
Well, Tonali, I think, more frustrated that the shove that came from Caicedo when he'd already hit the deck, or was halfway to hitting the deck. Andy Madley not getting involved too heavily, just tells Tonali to get up, and Cucurella will get on and take his throw. Frustration boiling over for all at St James's Park right now. Newcastle 2, Chelsea 1. Game day exclusive on Talksport. 62 minutes played. Cucurella down this left-hand side. Gives it short into João Pedro. Pedro then turning away from Murphy. Cucurella back to Chalobah. Here's Sanchez inside his own penalty area. Clipped it forward. And it's half cleared, but only half cleared by Schär. Now Pedro turns inside the centre circle, looking for Garnacho on this near side. Good intervention, that time by the outstretched boot of Miley, but it still allows Cucurella to find Palmer. Left-hand side, Garnacho. Going to take Miley on. Goes to the byline. Gets it across the box. Edge of the 6-yard area. And coming in to try and apply the finish was Enzo Fernandez, but he has won his side of corner.
Yeah, I think Tao's got to take a lot of pressure on, a lot of plaudits on that one. He was fantastic. Come from absolutely nowhere just to get there in time and knock the ball behind, I believe.
Here comes the corner down this left-hand side. Right-footed, it's going to be swung in by Reece James. And it evades everyone and is cleared away by Miley from the goal line at the back post. It gives a chance for Anthony Gordon to break away. He's up over halfway, plays a ball early for Ramsey, but Sanchez had a really good starting position at the edge of his penalty area and was able to deal with it. And Ramsdale will look to bowl it out again down this right-hand side and bring Newcastle United forward. And he finds Miley, who lopes over halfway, very youthful, 19, but he looks probably as though he maybe should still be at school as Miley. Gives it short to Guimaraes, back to Tonali. Tonali is about 45 yards out from goal. Miley again on this right-hand side to Murphy on the touchline. Little back heel that time is excellent from Gimaresh. Then it's slipped by Murphy into the box towards Voltemada, who goes down again. They want a penalty not being given, but the flag is up on this near side, and it will be a free kick for Chelsea, and that's for an offside decision. Team news from our Championship commentary this afternoon. It's on Talksport 2 from 3 o'clock. It's at Ashton Gate. It's Bristol City against Middlesbrough, and with the team news is Ian Danton.
3 changes, Bristol City. Vitek, the goalkeeper, and Sykes in midfield are injured, and Borges can't play against his parent club Borough, so O'Leary, Viner and Twine return for the Robins. 1 change for Borough, Gilbert in midfield for Brown. It's live on Talksport 2 from 2:30. Bristol City against Middlesbrough.
Thank you, Ian. Of course, you're home with the EFL over on Talksport 2. We've got a Premier League game for you tonight as well. I'll tell you about that shortly, but Chelsea on the attack here. Pedro Neto into Enzo Fernandez, and now to James. Neto again, James right edge of the penalty area. Right-footed cross, is a brilliant cross as well. Looking for Garnacho. It was dealt with by Miley at the edge of the 6-yard box. Picked up on that far side once more by Neto. It's almost incessant pressure coming from Chelsea here. Caicedo at the edge of the penalty area. To the right-hand side. Neto once more onto his left foot. And this time Newcastle are thinking about some changes and some fresh legs with 25 minutes remaining here. Garnacho out wide on this left-hand side. Oh, just tries to tease his way past Murphy, but I don't think he knew what he was trying to do, and in the end just leaves the ball behind, and Murphy will find Voltemada. Tonali closed down by Cucurella, and now out wide to that left-hand side. Here comes Anthony Gordon. Over halfway, he's got Voltemada making a charge towards the edge of the penalty area. Gimaresh is coming in support. He's got Hall going outside him. Gives it instead to Ramsey at the edge of the penalty area. Doesn't shoot. Gordon gets the crossover, and Sanchez will smother it at the edge of his 6-yard box.
Yeah, they've just got to be careful, Newcastle, overextending, leaving on the halfway line here. 1 versus 1, and this is why.
Yeah, Pedro's got away from João. João Pedro in the box. João Pedro equalises for Chelsea. They've come from 2 down midway through the second half. And it's João Pedro, his 5th Premier League goal of the season. A calm, cool finish beyond Ramsdale, and St James's Park is stunned into silence, apart from that top tier away to our left-hand side, who've made the journey from West London. Much better in the second half from Chelsea, and we're level. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 2.
Yeah, the performance has been chalk and cheese with Chelsea, but as I said in the first half when it was 2-0, Newcastle have got a guard against doing something silly, leaving an overload at the back. They left 1-on-1 on their last attack, and the proviso is, as a central defender in Tau, if the goalkeeper kicks the ball over distance, you've got to win that first header. He didn't compete for it, and João Pedro done brilliantly. Cushioned the header down to himself and then drove through and slotted past Ramsdale. Great finish by him, but this Chelsea team have the ability to do this to you, and they might well go on to win this game now.
First Premier League goal since the 8th of November for João Pedro. He actually got his first Premier League away goal here as well. That was back in 2022 when he was playing for Watford. But what a turnaround. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because Chelsea are playing like Newcastle in the first half. They are chasing down balls left, right and centre to get themselves back in this game.
Listen, if they'd have done that in the first half, they'd have probably been leading the game by now. And I think Newcastle are reaching to the bench very shortly, and I think there's a triple substitution coming on, Bridgie.
Yeah, it looks like Elanga's been out warming up. Joe Linton's there too. Harvey Barnes amongst those. Johan Wissa, so there will be a change coming. You're listening to Newcastle against Chelsea on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Fernandez to Cole Palmer, who's just signalled to the bench saying he's got another 10 minutes in him. That's a good pass to set up Garnacho down this left-hand side. Garnacho on his left foot fires high and wide. Not the best of efforts. Yes, it was a tight angle, but he was only about 8 yards out, and he sent that about 30 rows back.
Yeah, I think he done the right thing. As I say, picked the ball up out wide from Palmer's ball, drove at Miley, dipped to his left, and then he unloaded one from a tight angle, but just needed to get the direction on the shot slightly better.
Don't forget, Around the Grounds is here. Once we are done today, we'll bring you reaction live from this game with Enzo Maresca and Eddie Howe, hopefully. And then, of course, Around the Grounds is followed by the game day phoning from 5:30 this evening, and then we've got more live Premier League football for you. If it's a Premier League game on a Saturday night, it's on the Talksport network. 2 bites of the cherry for you tonight. Everton against Arsenal is live on Talksport from 8 o'clock. Sam will be with you for that one, hence why he's not here this lunchtime. And then we'll bring you as well the game between Leeds and Crystal Palace on Talksport 2, also from 8 o'clock tonight. That means the darts this evening will be via the Talksport app and the Talksport YouTube page for darts. That's live from Ali Pali as the PDC World Championship continues exclusively on Talksport 2. Wissa, Barnes, Alanga are coming on. Not a bad trio to be able to bring on.
No, as I say, at 2-0 at half-time, Chelsea, you're looking at them and say, can they reach to the bench? There was no need to. They got enough talent on the pitch, and I don't think their bench is as strong as Newcastle's.
Anthony Gordon just trying to skip away that time from Enzo Fernandez. Needs the help on that far side, though, of Hall. Hall now gets it, charging through the penalty area. The former Chelsea man goes down in the box, but he's given the first free kick for the contact that happened outside the box. He rode that challenge well before finally falling to the ground inside the penalty area, but the free kick is 3 or 4 yards outside the box on the left-hand edge.
Yeah, good play. I don't think there was a foul in the box, so referee's done the correct thing, pulling it back, giving the foul just outside.
They were pretty high odds on Chelsea winning this at half-time when it was 2-0 to Newcastle, weren't they?
Yeah.
Here we are now, though, 2-2. And it's a free kick just outside the box for Newcastle United. Gordon's over there. He's scored in the last 2 Premier League games here, both of those penalties. Gordon actually hasn't scored an open play goal in the Premier League since January. But he is one of those who's over this ball on that far side, as is Fabian Schär, who may well fancy this with his right foot. He's already struck one thunderous volley today. It was straight at Robert Sanchez. Maybe from this free kick he can do something special to match up to what Reece James did at the start of the second half up the other end. Hall is there as well, should it be a left-footed option, because they have brought Voltemada and Chow at the back side of the penalty area, with also Miley in there too, having scored a header in midweek. Referee's happy. There's 4 in the wall for Chelsea. At this point, Anthony Gordon steps away. Schär and Lewis Hall still in conversation.
You know
and now Gordon's going in the box.
For me, the ball should be just lofted at the far post. Jeez, oh.
Well, it was lofted, but it was lofted about 10 yards over the top of the crossbar.
You've got Tao and Voltemada being marked at the far post by Garnacho, and that's where the ball should be, just lofted to the far post, and encouragement for them to come on and attack it.
Triple sub coming then for Newcastle United. While that happens, it's currently Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 2. And for the latest odds, head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Newcastle to win at 16-5. You can back Chelsea to win at 9-4. That was 14-1 at half-time. Or you can back the draw at 10-11. That's all thanks to Betfair, playing a different league this season with safe sub from Betfair. 18+, gambleaware.org. Voltemada has gone off. Wissa has come on. We've also seen the departure of Anthony Gordon. Alanga has entered the fray as well. On this right-hand side, Jacob Murphy's departed and Harvey Barnes is on 2. Oh, off 2. On 2, should I say. So they're the changes. And I'll make my mind up. He's gone one of the 2 ways. Cucurella has it for Chelsea. So 3 changes for Newcastle United. And it's very simple. Wissa has gone up top, Barnes out on the left, and Alanga on this right-hand side. Fresh legs to harry, chase and press this Chelsea backline as they were doing in the first half, I would suspect. And Wissa did an awful lot of that against Fulham on Wednesday night when he was in from the start. It's a clip down the line that Cucurella is going to chase after, and he doesn't get the better of Alanga. The ball runs out of play, and it'll be a throw-in on this near side.
And I think that answers Resh's question about getting Wissa and Voltemada in the team together, you know. Like for like, one on, one off. I think Eddie's mentality will be.
Here's Cole Palmer, tries to slip through, then is he tripped or did he fall over his own feet, according to the referee Andy Madley. Wissa then helps the ball to Guimaraes. Good bit of hold-up play. Now Barnes down that left-hand side. Here's Harvey Barnes on the charge, on his favoured right foot, towards the edge of the penalty area. Still going is Barnes. He goes down in the box again, waved away by the referee, and it will be a goal kick to Chelsea away to our right-hand side.
Yeah, as I say, a couple of the Chelsea players suggesting there should be a yellow card, but there certainly should have been. I think there's a mentality this day and that. Oh, that's poor. That's a booking, really, but we've stopped booking players for diving these days, haven't we?
We've got some business to clear up now that Voltemada's gone off. I don't think we're going to see a hat-trick here today for Newcastle United. So Adrian Durham did WhatsApp me with the right answer eventually. Had a go at Callum Wilson first, which wasn't right. It was Ayoze Perez who scored the last hat-trick at St James's Park for Newcastle. And it was against Southampton.
I would have been still here till after Christmas.
We couldn't do that to you.
Waiting for that one.
You've got a big gig to get to tonight, haven't you?
And a BMX bike to get there on.
Yes. That sign's not gone up again, so I think we may have had a taker from somewhere alongside us. Here's Barnes on the attack again down the left-hand side for Newcastle United. Trying to get away that time from Fofana. The cross was behind Wissa, though, who couldn't chase that one down. And it's going to be back with Chow, under pressure from João Pedro. And it's back with Ramsdale, who clears first time long towards Wissa, who doesn't have the height or presence that Voltemada did, but he'll certainly work incredibly hard. To be fair, Eddie Howe was asked about that on Wednesday night, because Wissa said he would like to play with Voltemada, and Eddie said that's an interesting question, brushed it away and said it's not likely to happen anytime soon.
And he was true to his word.
He was today, no doubt about it. It's Hall who gets it back to halfway. This game is so beautifully poised with 15 minutes to go. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 2, game day exclusive from Talksport. We've brought you a real cracker for our last one before Christmas on a Saturday lunchtime. And don't forget, Newcastle, next time they play against Manchester United, that'll be live on Boxing Day night. So you can sit back with a port or a sherry in hand, whatever you fancy, tuck it into your turkey sandwich. But we will do all the heavy lifting for you on Boxing Day evening from 8 o'clock. Down this right-hand side, it's Miley with the ball at his feet, just getting away from Garnacho, who had closed him down. Tonali inside to Ramsey, laid off again to Miley, about 35 yards out from goal, 4 or 5 yards in from this near touchline. The pass from Tonali was towards Elanga, but it was almost telegraphed, and Garnacho was able to slide in and put the ball out of play for another throw down this right-hand side, which Miley will take. Midway inside the Chelsea half. 2 goals for Newcastle in the opening 45 minutes, 2 in this second half so far for Chelsea, courtesy of James and João Pedro. It's Caicedo who keeps the ball despite pressure from Jacob Ramsey. Neto now on a charge right down the centre of the pitch towards the edge of the penalty area. Neto tries to slide it through to Garnacho, and it's brilliant defending from Miley. Now Elanga has the ball up to halfway. Listen to the roars of the Newcastle faithful trying to drive Anthony Elanga on, and well, he had 3 blue shirts around him, and in the end he almost gave up the ghost, and he was robbed of the ball by Garnacho, who's then fouled by Yoane Wissa, who got his 50th goal in English football on Wednesday night. He's now got his latest yellow card.
Well, Elanga run with the ball probably about 30-40 yards, and it become pantomime season in the ground. Everyone shouting, he's behind you, he's behind you. The only one who didn't hear him was Elanga.
It's short for Chelsea as they look to build again from the back. I think those changes from Newcastle just taking a little bit of momentum out of Chelsea. And Newcastle with their tails up. Tonali, Wissa, edge of the penalty area, slips it through. Brilliant ball for Harvey Barnes. Is it a penalty? No, it's a corner, says the referee. And it's a brilliant block in the end from Reece James at the edge of the 6-yard area.
Well, I think Barnes has got to finish that first time. I really do. He took too long. And you've got to say Reece James has made up. We're looking at the replay. He's made up 8 yards to get back and get a block on there. Wonderful, wonderful defending by him. Really good play, but Barnes will be ruining the fact he didn't get his finish away earlier.
I think he thought he was in so much space that there was no way he was going to get close to him.
Well, he did. Yeah, he was at one stage, that's for sure.
Here's the corner from this right-hand side for Newcastle. So it's a left footer, going to be swung in by Hall. And it is towards that back post. Sanchez comes, misses it. And Elanga almost got their appeals for a handball from Garnacho. Waved away by Andy Madley, gives it out to the left-hand side. Chance to play a ball in from Miley, which he does, headed away by João Pedro, who's back defending, and now Pedro Neto with a chance to break down the right-hand side. Cole Palmer's going down the middle. João Pedro's coming too. Garnacho's out wide on the right-hand side. Garnacho tries to pull it back, and he just pulls it to the feet of Tonali, who was a couple of yards away from him, and the Italian who hasn't stopped running all game, then charges out, and Guimaraes from the edge of the penalty area will try and get away from Enzo Fernandez, but in the end wins the free kick for his Newcastle side, 5 yards outside the penalty area.
Yeah, Tonali's been super today, I've got to say. Full of energy, full of drive. But once again, Newcastle, they throw players forward, they defend, and they just one clearance and one Chelsea player going the other side of a Newcastle player. All of a sudden, the counter-attack's on, and they've got to be really careful, Newcastle. But those signs have been on the cards most of the game for that counter-attack scenario.
Well, Chelsea continue to manage that groin of Cole Palmer. He said after the goal he had about 10 minutes. I think he's maybe managed a little more than that. But he's now been replaced by Andre Santos into the middle of the park. And we are, 11 minutes away. Plus, of course, time to be added on before that full-time whistle comes from Andy Madley. And currently Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2. It's been a cracker of a game here at St James's Park. We thought it might be when we arrived today, and we really found it hard to choose which way it would go. And at the moment, 2-2. But you feel there's possibly one more goal in this. Cucurella goes up and wins that header as Newcastle try and probe long via Ilanga. Ramsey in the middle of the park, just losing out on winning some of those second balls. Reece James will turn and go back towards his own goal, where Fofana is waiting. Flipped forward, and now a chance for Enzo Fernandez to find his partner in the middle, who's Caicedo. Caicedo being free rein here to drive and then shoot, and he's a whisker away from finding the top corner. Ramsdale was beaten, but it was just off target.
I've got to say, he drove and he drove and he drove, and Newcastle kept backing off, and then he unloaded a shot, just cut across it a little bit too much.
Still Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2 on Talksport. After we're done here, Adrian Durham takes you round the grounds with all the goals as they go in. We'll do our best, of course, to bring you that live reaction from Eddie Howe and Enzo Maresca as well. As that comes towards the edge of the penalty area for Chelsea, here's João Pedro on his right foot. It's blocked this time by Cher. And then Barnes combines with Guimaraes. Cucurella's all over him. And the referee says play on as Chelsea win it. Pedro, Garnacho inside the box on his right foot. Garnacho, good save, Ramsdale. Low down to his right-hand side. And it's going to be a corner. And again, Enzo Maresca, I think, can't believe that Garnacho has not finished that one off.
No, same here. As I say, Chelsea look like the team that are creating those slightly better opportunities at this moment in time. There will be a winner, I'll guarantee you it. I still do not know which way, though.
5:30 today, Jamie O'Hara, Jason Goody with a game day phone in, of course. 03717 2233 44 is the number. Programme it in your phones. And join in from 5:30, your first chance to react to the action from this afternoon's football. I'm sure there'll be plenty of Chelsea fans bemoaning that first half, but they may be quite happy if they can complete the job of turning this one round. The corner is just headed behind by Cucurella, and it will be a goal kick for Newcastle. Just over 8 minutes remaining here, and Santos and Elanga having a little coming together. Again, Andy Madley feels he'll just speak to Santos. In fact, he's going to give him a yellow card for that, for blocking off Elanga when Ramsdale was looking to play the ball early.
Yeah, good opportunity there. I don't know whether Ramsdale actually saw the opportunity to put Elanga away as quickly as he should have done. Or he did, should I say.
So 2 more Premier League games for you tonight. Of course, Everton against Arsenal and Leeds against Crystal Palace on Talksport and Talksport 2. We've got more Premier League action for you on Monday as well. Fulham against Forest, that's our Monday night game. And then on Tuesday, the final of those Carabao Cup quarter-finals take place. As that ball's clipped forward and Ramsdale will gather that up. Arsenal playing Crystal Palace, of course, to complete the semi-final lineup. We already know that Newcastle will face Man City in the first leg here. And of course the other game will see Chelsea take on the winner of the game between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. Another yellow card is shown by Andy Madley.
I think he'll be disappointed. He was hoping to go between now, the referee, between now and Christmas, with not a lot of paperwork to do to finish off those Christmas cards and Christmas shopping, and the players all giving him a lot of paperwork now.
Tonali's ball in, Chow just sit down, then drills the shot across the penalty area, couple of ricochets, comes out to Fabian Cher, who tries to volley it goalwards but just gets under it and puts it over the crossbar.
I think he's hurt himself in the process of that hitch kick.
Not surprised. I'm not sure I could quite manage that at any point in my days, let alone from the edge of the penalty area like that. He's put a lot into that, hasn't he?
I think he's done his groin by looking at it. Oh, he's up. That's good news.
They don't need another defender being injured, that's for sure. João Pedro, the player that was booked then by Andy Madley. Cards of a different nature for him this festive period so far today, and a few of them as well. And we have 6 minutes plus added time to play here on Game Day exclusive on Talksport. Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2. Which way's this going? It really is on a knife edge. Cher, he's up and about, and he's given the ball back to Ramsdale. Away to our left-hand side, who's all in purple today. Malik Chow will pick it up. A couple of goals for him against Everton. His first start actually came against Bournemouth. He's started all 12 since then. Chow after his move in the summer. Here's Guimaraes down this left-hand side. Lovely volley. Barnes on the volley! Oh, what a chance! What a chance! It was a brilliant ball from Guimaraes. And Barnes arriving left-footed on the volley from about 10 yards out, and he's put it wide.
I've got to say, what a sensational attack that was. Guimaraes was the one who initiated it, played the 1-2, he got in behind, whipped it across the face of goal, and Barnes, well, you thought the net had rippled. It actually rippled from behind rather than in front.
A fair few did around the ground, that's for sure. Fernandes finds Garnacho again, and Garnacho once more, 12 yards out on his left foot, has fired it way over the crossbar. Enzo Maresca turns round for about the 4th time in this game and just cannot believe some of those misses from Garnacho.
No, as I say, we've swung from end to end, just looked at that Barnes replay again, should have done better, just cut across the ball slightly and it skewed wide up the other end. Garnacho demonstrating that he can't get one on target for love nor money. He's created himself a couple of decent chances.
That goal from Barnes, had it gone in, I mean, wow, that would have been a goal fitting to win a game of this much drama and at times quality. Ramsey just trying to get the better of Caicedo, but Caicedo's a master in doing that, winning the ball back. Hall's going to get booked here as well because he's had a little tug on the arm of Pedro Neto when he was going to be away just inside the Newcastle half, so Hall will take that for sure. I did see a whole list of players today around the Premier League who are currently on 4 bookings, collect a booking today and they get Christmas off. Sure that never used to happen in your days, Stu?
I used to get my 5 bookings by probably mid-September.
You'd have been on 10 by now,
I was chasing 10 by now.
Charged towards the edge of the penalty area by Enzo Fernandez. Here's Garnacho again inside the box on the left-hand side. What can he do this time? Gives it back to Cucurella. Now he's going to go onto his right foot, then tries to swing a ball in, but Lewis Miley in close attention and gets a decent block in a couple of yards away. It's out now as far as Chalobah. He'll find Fofana, who's alongside him, now deep inside the Chelsea half. We are into the last 2 minutes, plus probably maybe 6 minutes of added time. There was a little delay a couple of times and a fair few substitutions and a fair few niggly fouls. Tonali with one there on Caicedo. And it's going to be a free kick here for Chelsea, which they take short and is gathered by Fofana midway inside his own half as they look to come forward once more. Here's Caicedo through the centre circle. Garnacho in space on this left-hand side. Cucurella finds him and he'll now try and take on Miley once more. Garnacho slips it down to Cucurella, who's got the other side of Elanga, and Elanga has to block it out, and it'll be a corner down this left-hand side for Chelsea. Quick update from the PDC Darts, Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Andreas Harrison safely through on debuts, beating Matsumu Saki by 3-0. Next up on the Talksport app, Dirk van Dijvenbode takes on James Hurrell.
You can get that on the app, of course, or if you want to, you can follow the action via our Darts YouTube page every single day from Ali Pali, covered as the tournament runs through, of course, till the beginning of January. We have got 2 minutes left. Joe Willock is preparing to come on here. Corner with Reece James down this left-hand side. Can he create an opportunity and a moment here for Chelsea? No, he can't. He just puts it straight into the arms of Aaron Ramsdale, who's bowled it away to Elanga. Elanga down that left-hand side. Cucurella's with him. Here comes the support for Elanga. Harvey Barnes has arrived. Elanga's shot is a couple of yards wide of the left-hand post of Sanchez when Barnes was there in absolutely acres of space.
Well, a brilliant throw out from Ramsdale. Elanga set sail like you've never seen, and he done everything right. He cut inside, edge of the box, and then free a pass up for Harvey Barnes or Visser that had made great ground up. He decided not to do that, and his effort trying to curl it into the far corner was poor.
They're into 9 minutes of injury time over on Talksport 2 right now in the game between Southampton and Coventry. That's 1 apiece. Coventry down to 10 men in that game. Jay Da Silva sent off, so the leaders being held. They've not been in the best of form, and as was mentioned earlier, a bit of flu in the camp has restricted their options today, as Caicedo does well there to get away from Guimaraes. In fact, Chelsea have won the ball back, and the referee says the initial foul was on Guimaraes and gives it free kick to Newcastle.
Not seeing that one, I'm afraid. Been a good support with the referee today, but didn't see that at all.
Things looking slightly better for Norwich under Philippe Clement. Preston 0, Norwich 1 is the scoreline from the Championship. All those 12:30 kickoffs as well, of course. Here's the free kick for Newcastle United. We're in the last 30 seconds of normal time. Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2, right-footed. Guimaraes towards the edge of the penalty, nodded down and across the box. Here's Elanga from a tight angle, gets it across the face of goal. Outstretched boot of Chalobah does enough. Throw in on this right hand side for Newcastle. Neville with the edge of the box. Willock is on, takes it short, and it's Guimaraes who'll try and deliver. Just puts the ball in low, and it's easily cleared away by Chalobah. It's out as far as Willock, who's come on to replace Jacob Ramsey in this game. 5 added minutes we're about to enter here at St James's Park. It's 2-2 on Talksport. Is there drama coming? Here's a chance for Barnes from a tight angle, but he couldn't quite get there after Chow's knocked down, and it will be another goal kick that will go the way of Chelsea, away to our right-hand side.
Yeah, good opportunity there. Let's say it was Willock who just miscontrolled one in the box. If he has done it, he'd have had a brilliant scoring opportunity. But both teams pressing at each end, looking for this winner. It's going to send someone home very happy.
In stoppage time in League One in both the games, Stevenage 2, Burton 2, Wigan 0, Blackpool 2, as things stand in League One. As I say, they're also in stoppage time, of which we've had nearly a minute of the 5 that have been allocated here at St James's Park. We're around the grounds with Adrian from just after 2:30, of course. He's going to be the Etihad for Manchester City against West Ham. Phone in to follow that, and then of course Arsenal in action tonight against Everton at Hill Dickinson Stadium, live here on Talksport. Down that right hand side towards the byline, it's kept alive, is it, by Pedro? No, the assistant on the far side says it's out of play, and it will be a goal kick away to our left hand side for Ramsdale and for Newcastle, with just over 3.5 minutes of stoppage time to play.
Yeah, poor ball there by Neto, really well worked by João Pedro. He's done a lot of hard yards with his legs, and then when the ball needed to come back to him with a bit more sympathy, he was overhit.
Long clearance from Ramsdale, deep inside Chelsea territory. Wissa, though, it's no contest really in the air against Chalobah. Loses this one. Tonali across to deny Garnacho, who was trying to raid down this left-hand touchline. He was midway inside the Newcastle half, but Tonali had tracked him all the way. He's put a real shift in today, Sandro Tonali. Cucurella has the throw, the big gloved Cucurella on this near side, gives it short to Santos, and he's going to try and get past Miley, but Miley defends well.
He's done well as well, hasn't he, Miley, playing out of position.
Little flick on from Wissa towards Barnes, but a good intervention from Reece James, just tapped the ball back to Fofana. And it's now up towards halfway with Cucurella. Here's Chalobah over halfway. 2.5 minutes of added time to play. Chelsea on the attack away to our left-hand side. Alejandro Garnacho. Can he make a telling contribution at the end of this game? In towards Santos. Santos is caught by Tonali. Referee allows play to continue. Caicedo is passed through, is blocked out that time by Willock. They'll then go down the right-hand side with Pedro Neto. Neto towards the angle of the penalty area. Left-footed ball swung over, comfortable for Ramsdale, right down his throat in his 6-yard area. And again, he's wanting options. The crowd want him to have options. Alanga's the obvious one down this right-hand side. Wissa is up there as well. On the charge is Barnes too. Elanga trying to take on Cucurella on this near side. Towards the byline. Gets a crossover in the end out of nowhere, and it's headed out by Enzo Fernandez. Cucurella and Guimaraes are at it at the edge of the penalty area, as Caicedo picks up the loose ball. Garnacho is caught late by Miley, and that will be a free kick, which they've taken really quickly. Clever thinking gone from Garnacho that time. Neto on this left-hand side with him. Garnacho tries to get there, and Chow slides in with a crunching challenge to put the ball out of play. 90 seconds to go.
Yeah, both teams know now a winner will not be replied upon. So Chelsea are the ones at the moment with the ball, with the ascendancy.
They are. Cucurella finds Caicedo. Pushed wide to that right-hand side. Reece James has now joined in the attack on that far touchline in the absence of Pedro Neto, who's still down this left-hand side. He's got support from Enzo Fernandez. We are into the final minute of added time. 4 of the 5 have been played. Here's Neto. Left-footed, edge of the penalty area. Gets it back, but not well from Santos. Garnacho on this near touchline. He's got Alanga for company, but finds Neto. And they're going to shift it to the right-hand side again with Fofana. Little touch that time to Fernandez. Oh, he's lost possession. It's good work from Willock. They win it back, Newcastle. Guimaraes just short of halfway. Clips the ball forward. Tries to get a lucky bounce to Barnes. Barnes might get there. He's been pulled down surely at the edge of the penalty area. For the very least, a free kick. And the referee says no. But Harvey Barnes was dragged by the right arm. And the referee doesn't even give the free kick at the edge of the box, and up the other end, here come Chelsea. That could be controversial as Garnacho lifts it in. Tonali will try and head it away. Santos comes from behind, and now Guimaraes is going to try and clear it, but Tonali's down inside the box, and the referee will just wait for a moment. Now he's getting some instruction here, because Barnes could well have been clear. What do you think, Stuart?
I think there was a slight tug on him by Reece James, but not enough to go to ground.
Well, the referee has just asked them to stop for a moment.
There's not enough there.
Sanchez come to gather, and they are checking a possible red card for the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. So VAR and Peter Banks checking over that moment. Andy Madley had initially said no. Johan Wissa is wanting to get on with the game. He's inside the centre circle with the ball in hand, despite Andy Madley insisting he brings it back. And there is communication going on between Madley and Peter Banks right now. The pull on the shirt, I think it may have been Reece James with the tug. Just having a look.
No, there's not enough there, Bridgie, surely not.
Well, initially I thought it would be given as a free kick, but Andy Madley has his whistle to his lips. He's got the ball in hand. In fact, it's nothing. And I think he's also saying it will be a free kick for Ramsdale. And the decision is no red card against Reece James. And that, I think, will probably be that. And it will finish 2-2 here at St James's Park. There'll be some frustration, I think, from Newcastle, having been 2 up at half-time, that they've not closed the game out. But it's been the story of this season. It'll be another drop 2 points. I'll take them on to 13 that they've dropped from winning positions. Enzo Maresca is moaning with the 4th official about where Ramsdale's taken this free kick from. We are well over time. We're in the 97th minute of this game. There are only 5 added on by Andy Madley, and he wastes no time in blowing the final whistle. And I think the boos are very much directed at Andy Madley and his team of officials from the supporters in St James's Park of a Newcastle persuasion, and probably more frustration as well that they were in complete control of this game at half-time. 2 early goals in the first 20 minutes from Nick Voltemada, but a different Chelsea turned up for the second 45. A stunning free kick from Reece James, his second of the season, and João Pedro, without a Premier League goal since the 8th of November, finding the target as a starting striker for Chelsea for only the second time this season. It's another game without a defeat at home for Newcastle United. It's another one in a fairly poor run, with only 1 win in 5 now in the Premier League for Chelsea and Maresca. But now heading to Christmas, having shared the spoils at St James's Park. Full time, Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 2.
Adam, thank you very much indeed. What a game. If you've ever seen a game of 2 halves, this was definitely the one, wasn't it? You saw Chelsea in that first half. No energy, no endeavour, no enterprise, absolutely nothing at all, as Newcastle sailed to a 2-0 lead in that first half, and it looked like that was the way it was going to carry on. No change in personnel. Enzo Maresca did bring on Enzo Fernandez later on for Chelsea, but there was something that switched in that team, something that returned. It was a fire, and they decided that they were not going to go lying down in this game. They have done in their last 3 against Newcastle at St James's Park. They didn't want to extend that record. And wow, what a game we saw in the end. So much drama, so many twists and turns, some controversy as well thrown in there. And it feels like, Stuart Pearce, 2 points dropped for Newcastle.
Well, it's 2 ways of reading this, I think. Newcastle were fortunate in the first half that Chelsea thought they could just turn up here and go through the motions. Sadly, that wasn't the case and got a lead in the game. If Chelsea would have come and put as much endeavour into the first half as they did the second, they might well have been going home with all 3 points. But I think probably 2-2 on the run of things, in the scheme of things, was probably a fair result, I would say.
Yeah, it does feel like it in the end, doesn't it? Because of exactly what happened. And it's something interesting that you said, actually, when at half-time, you said, actually, it's not the personnel, that you can bring anyone on. It's just the energy of the Chelsea team and the attitude was completely off. When you're in that situation and you're a team like Chelsea, what is it that changes that dynamic? Do you think it was Enzo Fernandez? Do you think it was Maresca who went in there and said, come on, guys, sort this out? Because it was alarming. The switch was absolutely alarming.
Well, you would hope it's the manager coming in at half-time and maybe just mentioning a few home truths about what it would take to turn this round. Chelsea, every time I see them, they've got the ability to actually win any game against any opposition. It's just whether you think there's that togetherness, that leadership and that endeavour to go out and for a whole 90 minutes, go over and play and put the sweat on your shirt that your ability deserves.
I've got to ask you about the penalty incident, the potential penalty incident where Anthony Gordon was brought down by Trevor Chalobah. If you've seen the replay, Stuart, what did you make of that? I mean, this is what the Premier League Match Centre has posted on X. The referee's call of no penalty to Newcastle was checked and confirmed by VAR, with the contact from Chalobah on Gordon deemed to be side to side in a shielding action and the ball within playing.
Yeah, I think it was one of those, Bridges sat next to me and suggesting it's a penalty. I'm saying, no, I'm not sure it was. He was running the ball out of play. It was an aggressive body-to-body action. I'll give you that. This day and last season or a couple of seasons ago, maybe the VAR would have got involved. I think nowadays with the bar going slightly higher, it didn't surprise me. Nothing was given.
Interesting for Newcastle. This is now 10 games in a row without a clean sheet. That's never happened under Eddie Howe before. But can you see this situation getting any better, given that the injuries that they have defensively? I mean, this is something that they're going to have to work on, particularly after Christmas, as they do start going on the road as well.
Well, to be fair, I mentioned it in the first half of commentary that where Newcastle might let Chelsea back in the game was when they throw players forward, that they often leave 1-on-1, 2-on-2 in and around the halfway line. And that eventually cost them the equaliser with João Pedro. That's what you've got to guard against. That's not a defensive injury situation. That's just overexposing yourself at the back. And once you get a 1 or a 2-0 lead, you don't have to do that.
And as for Chelsea, what have we learned about them today? I mean, they stay in fourth, gain a point.
This is what you know about Chelsea. Chelsea can beat anyone on their day. They've got the ability in their ranks to beat anybody on their day. But have they got the mental fortitude to want to fight for 90 minutes or 96 minutes to get that result is the question I would ask, And then I would throw that back about the comments from Maresca about that might be paving his way to come out the football club potentially, if that is the case. And you say, well, why has he made statements like that? And you think, well, the performance in the first half, the genuineness of the team and the dressing room, on what I saw with my eyes, wasn't there. So maybe that is the reason why he's made those statements.
Yeah, right now they're in the top 4, but 3 points behind them are Crystal Palace, Manchester United, Liverpool and Sunderland as well. So they could get caught up before the Christmas period. Whether that matters psychologically or not is up for debate, really, because it's such a long season ahead. But Chelsea did come on in that second half. They did actually give Newcastle a game. You thought it was done and dusted after those early 45 minutes, but Chelsea came back, ended up levelling the game, and it really could have gone either way. You did actually promised that there'd be a winner, Stu, and there wasn't. But I won't hold that one against you.
I would. If ever I make a faux pas on there, please pick me up on it. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. I thought there would be. The way the game was going, I thought one or the other team. And let's be quite honest with you, there was enough chances at both ends. Probably two have got a winner.
Resh, fair play to him. He did turn up today and said this will be 2-2.
So we'll there you go. Do you know what, Stuart Pearce? What am I saying? We'll go with what the former England captain says every single time. And you were right, and it was a fantastic game in the end. Okay, so with Chelsea's comeback, I feel like our man of the match will be from the Chelsea side. Let's pick our man of the match then with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here for It hero on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Stuart, who was the instrumental player for you today?
Well, listen. The game actually lasts for 90 minutes plus. You cannot just turn up at half-time and hope to impress me. So the man of the match is coming from somebody who played every minute of the game and I thought was outstanding for 90-odd minutes, and that was Tonali. And I've got the thumbs up from Bridgie as well. Nice. So there you go. Unanimous decision.
Unanimous decision that Sandra Tonali is our man of the match. That was our Here for It hero, man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.